Hello, Internet friends, and welcome to Quests and Cthulhu. We're playing Call of Cthulhu tonight on Quests and Chaos. Very exciting. Thanks so much for joining us. Couple quick announcements that I'm going to make very fast. We have an awesome Libris Arcana dice set here that Amy
is going to taint. It's going to be good for D&D because all it does is roll high.
There you go. There you go. So Amy will be giving those dice her singular malaise there to damage them as for a giveaway. And you can always go to the Libris Arcana website and get 20% off of dice like that. Those things are really pretty.
Yeah, they're super pretty.
They're like almost like cat's eye marbles or something.
They're
so pretty.
It's like a three-tone color. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get 20% off if you use the code CHAOS at checkout. That's awesome. We also are going to have a giveaway at 800 followers. We're going to give away another one of those Nord Games decks. I think we're at 760, so call 40 friends. You're on the internet. You have 40 friends. Come on.
Yeah, that's a me.
We're all right here.
Yeah.
All my friends are here.
Guys.
All friends.
Get on the internet.
Guys, are you following yet?
Yes.
So at 800, we will be giving away one of those Nord Games deck. I still want them to make a Cthulhu deck. They could do
We should make one up.
You know,
We did make one.
Chaosium actually makes some that are pretty good. Maybe I'll bring one in and we can do. Next week we're doing a Cthulhu themed giveaway. So you might as well go and just come back next week. Really, is what.
Hey now.
Nobody's gonna die. Everything will be fine.
It'll be fun.
Last but not least, it is 4 days left. 4 days?
Sure.
4 days left in our Kickstarter.
Yeah. Sure.
Maybe
no, what
three.
date?
Maybe
Maybe
three.
four.
Our
Four.
Kickstarter
Yeah.
ends April 1st. That is not a joke. It's not April Fool's. That's when our Kickstarter ends. So pretty soon you're going to get that. You've got 48 hours left to back. And look at this. New stretch goal. It's a beer stein.
So nice.
Which, by the way, was full of liquid. I was not aware of that, so now I am full of liquid. But it's got all the Chaos agents on there. You know, because that's the only game we play here. They've got all the cool art.
We did get all the cool art.
This is one of the new stretch goals. Super exciting. We've still got the pins. All sorts of neat stuff there. The T-shirts are super awesome. That's the level I backed at because, you know, I was happy to see that one of the T-shirts wasn't black. What is it with geeks and black T-shirts? I don't get it.
It matches everything.
Slimming.
Well, I should wear like 4 of them then. Last announcement I want to make, that's all the Quest and Cast announcement. I want to talk about a quick game thing, and it's something that I use as a GM mainly at con games, but it's a great habit to get into if you're going to GM, and that is something called the X card. And the X card is just, it sits on the table, everybody knows it's there, and as you're playing, especially when you're playing with people you don't know or people that you're not sure where the boundaries are and that sort of thing, the X card is a way that anybody in the game can just say, I'm uncomfortable with something that's happening. Whether it's, you know, your NPCs, your PCs are hitting on you as an NPC and you're uncomfortable with it, I can X card it. Or if somebody's got a thing, the example I always use is there was a person who had a real problem with lizards, and the game, something started, lizards showed up, and the person went, guys, I don't really like lizards, and everyone thought, oh, that's really funny. But she was really disturbed by it. They were uncomfortable with it. And if the X card had been there, she could have just said, hey, I don't like lizards, X card. And as the GM, we're going to end that scene immediately. It's going to fade to black. We're going to do some narration to finish the scene, and then we're just going to pick it right back up. So this is always going to be on the table. It is always available to all of you. You don't have to know, there's no explanation, there's no judgment, there's no nothing. You don't have to tell us why. It doesn't matter why. All that matters is that everybody at this table should feel comfortable and should feel welcome at this table, because everybody belongs at this table. So the X card is going to be part of every game of Cthulhu that we play. With horror games especially, when you want to do some of the things that could be scary, but you don't know. Some people have triggers with things, and so always better to give the players a vehicle to express their discomfort that isn't putting the onus on them, because it shouldn't be on them. So the X card, use it, love it. It is the one thing, by the way, I take it super seriously. I think it's really important. It's the one thing that I don't joke about. I think the X card is super serious. You know, it's not something that it's not a gimmick. It's nothing like that. It's something to make all the players feel comfortable. So yeah. Now that that's out of the way, we are. Last episode, our intrepid band did not make it to the funeral of Jackson Elias yet, despite that being the name of the episode.
You guys get really optimistic with names of episodes.
Every time.
From now on, all of my episode titles are going to be like wherever they end up.
Whatever.
So you started out with some flashbacks of you met the Dark Pharaoh in his otherworldly lair. He gave you some warnings and some visions, and then you cleaned out Jackson Elias's room of clues. You found a number of clues, some of which weren't confiscated by the police. You found connections to the Pinhue Foundation, Edward Gavigan, who was part of the Carlisle expedition. You found a letter that Jackson Elias had received from Harvard about a book that he had been wanting to check out. You found a mysterious picture of a ship, and somebody, I don't remember who, made a great roll and figured out that was in the harbor of Shanghai. That picture was in the harbor of Shanghai. I think it was Bells,
I'm smart.
Recognized Shanghai right away. And you found a matchbook from a bar in Shanghai as well.
That was cool. It's going to be our tattoo.
That's because I rolled a 1.
That's right.
We all go out and get tattoos together.
Yeah.
And then
I'm down.
You also had
Shanghai Tiger tattoos.
you had a number of press clippings about the Carlisle expedition. And about the members of the expedition, about the fact the expedition was massacred in Africa, all sorts of fun information there. And at some point, you all you really feel like, you need to do a sort of a clue. We need to beautiful mind it and have the board set up and connecting everything. Then you made a visit to the Juju House, an African emporium in Harlem. And Amy had a scene that started heartwarming,
Got weird.
and then got weird. But she's now got a little buddy
Sorry,
in Harlem, Jimmy, who's watching the Juju House for her.
Root beer barrels.
Yeah, root beer
I
barrels.
mean, hopefully he is.
Those things
Hopefully
are
he's
so
not
good,
like,
though.
whatever,
They are.
lady.
Or he's not, summoning something awful to.
Well,
Now that I know where you live. And you also met Silas Nkwane, the proprietor of the Juju House, who Bells noticed was he recognized the symbol from Jackson Elias that had been carved in Jackson Elias's forehead. He said he didn't recognize it, but
Lying to my face.
and we learned that Bells doesn't like liars.
Yeah.
fair.
And I don't know manners, apparently.
So you were asked politely to leave, and you staked out the Juju House that night, and you saw somebody walking away from the walking away from there with a pocket full of cash. You've now since connected the dots and figured out that it's probably corrupt police officers, given that one of them just exploded in your room.
Well, that tends to be a pretty good clue, yes.
You met a few other people. You met Lieutenant Poole at the crime scene of Jackson Elias's body, and he seemed like a cop who was on the up and up and who really cared. And he actually he told you some stuff about the investigations that had gone on and about the gentleman Hilton Adams, who was in prison for the murders, who you clearly know it was probably not involved.
Probably.
Probably not. Because, murders are happening while he's in prison. And I think those are the main people you've met in the course of things. Let's just look at
We know
my
about Captain Robeson is probably shady.
Yes, you've heard about Captain Robeson, who is the captain of the Harlem NYPD Harlem.
I was going to say Globetrotters, but nope, not those guys.
He is not a...
Not the captain?
No.
Not even the
Despite
forward?
it being the 20s, there's still no white guys on the Globetrotters. That's but he is the captain of the Harlem station, and he is the guy who put Hilton Adams in prison, and and you were visited by a couple of Harlem police officers when you were trying to stake the place out.
Globetrotters. Cannot stop hearing it.
Well, you will be the Globetrotters soon, in that you will be trotting the globe.
Not playing basketball
No,
professionally.
no.
Assuming we all survive.
I think in the 20s, basketball is just getting started.
Just barely.
Yeah, I think like Naismith invented it in like 1914 or 18, something.
The fact that you remember the name
Yeah.
of the person who did it is impressive.
And isn't broadcasting just starting too? Like,
Well,
No,
like
that
radio
wasn't
stuff.
until
Yeah.
that wasn't until like 37
Yeah.
or something that broadcast
really got
Yeah, like
popular.
sports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
was possible even.
but more importantly,
Yeah. Oh wait, and then I also found out that the getaway car from Jackson Elias was a stolen car, and it had a connection where it was stolen within like 5 blocks of Silas
Right.
Kwane's
Right.
Juju house. That's it. Yeah.
And we ended our thing with first an emotional scene trying to bring Alexandra back into the fold after all of the indignations, physical, mental, and otherwise, that she had suffered over the course of 5 years, and trying to bring her back in the fold. You all received invitations to the funeral of Jackson Elias, which will be happening tomorrow. It is the night of January 16th. The funeral will be the 17th. And you were on the phone with Emma, and
Who was not thrilled about this.
No.
who's not. Yeah,
I like sleeping.
you know who doesn't. And you were on the phone, and 2 police officers rang your bell, and then one of them got his bell rang and turned into a very familiar-looking mangy blood parrot that is bursting out of the body of Officer Mathis. His partner, Officer McGillicuddy, was clearly not prepared for this and is backing away like in terror.
Fair.
He failed his sanity roll, and that's where we start. So we're going to start over on this side of the table, and it's going to be initiatives. But first, Of 3 Kingdoms has told us a story of
cool.
2 inspiration.
Hey, thank you.
Of 3 Kingdoms. I haven't said your name before, so thanks a lot. That's awesome. We've got
Very cool.
2 inspiration. Oh, I wrote down how many we had last time.
I have like
4.
4.
Yeah, I think we had 4. So
Well, the most we've had.
just put those all in front of Amy.
6 to ruin.
It's been a while. It's been a minute.
well, because I've just decided to live with my failures.
I mean, that's
What is it
fair.
Tina always says? Mood?
Yeah.
I think we need one more because we have 5 in front of us. And if we had,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Oh,
Yep, that's
this one.
6.
Yeah, this one was
it
hiding.
slid over there.
I'm entirely too old to be using mood. That's more of a 10 years younger than me thing. But I have
Hi.
I have a lot of friends who are 10
So
years
what is it, like a 30
Mood.
years younger thing for me? Awesome.
Something like.
Your grandchildren, basically.
Which is why I like using it.
It's too bad I look my age.
It corrupts it for the Ute.
So we're going to go to initiatives. And initiatives in Call of Cthulhu are just your decks. Do either of you beat a 79?
No.
Okay. So this round, horrible parrot thing is just bursting forth from the head of Officer Mathis. His body, almost like an empty sack, is just like kind of sliding down off this thing.
So
And-
I was in the kitchen when all this was happening
Right.
because I was putting the kettle on.
So you hear just this awful squawk. That was for Bo. He loves his
That
sound
was
effects.
awful.
That was for Bo.
I agree. Real awful.
And you hear a male voice going, ah, ah.
Fair.
So that's a 79. On a 68, do either of you have a 68?
I have a 75.
Then you're next.
Cool. Hearing this, I'm going to like grab for one of the knives that I keep in the kitchen because I do
And
that.
not those kind of knives.
No, the other kind.
Yes.
Not for cooking.
Not for cooking at all. Come out, grab one of the knives and come out of the kitchen to see what in the name of God is going on.
All right, make me a sand roll.
Yep. That doesn't look good. No, it's not good. I missed it.
You lose 3 points of sanity. You are faced with an unfortunately familiar sight.
I've never seen this because
Oh, that's right, you weren't there. You weren't
I wasn't
there.
there
So
for this.
then your brain just looks for analogies for this thing because that's the only way it can come to terms with this beast that should not be. It looks like a mangy parrot that is covered in blood, that is sort of dried, and its eyes are human. Its eyes are intelligent. And it is on the list of the worst things you've ever seen. A rapidly expanding list.
That list gets longer every time I'm around these guys.
Yeah. So what are you doing?
I think that I'm that reacting as Alexandria, I'm going to like back up a step and just be like, what?
Yeah.
What?
That
No.
is fair. That is fair.
And like still clinging to the dagger because this is the thing that I understand and I don't understand what this is.
Okay.
And I'm not going to take an action this turn.
Okay. On a 68, McGillicuddy's going to try and get his stuff together. All right. He will, as he's back, he's like staggered backwards, and he's like under a desk now. He's like cowering under a desk, but he seems like now he feels like he's in some protection, so he's drawing out his gun.
Oh, jeez.
It's about, I think it was like 11 when this started, so it's
Midnight,
11:30ish.
midnight. It was pretty late.
So this thing's making all sorts of noise as it's making that horrible squawk, and it's as it emerges from its Mathis cocoon, it like the weight of it as it's like parrots' feet are kind of curved in talons. This thing's feet are flat and they just slap on the ground of your third floor apartment.
Yeah.
You like the floor just vibrates when this thing steps on it. Professor.
Before I do anything, as this thing, how close am I in proximity to this?
It's not a very big apartment.
Yeah, it's not a big apartment. I'm going to put you're about from me to you.
Okay.
You're closer than you really want to be.
So it's like 5 feet
Totally.
for people who have no idea of perspective.
All right.
Like everybody outlined, they're like, well, technically you guys are like
You're
right
in
here
this
in a
little
box.
box right here. I want to figure out how to Brady Bunch it. Which way do we have to look?
So what's right around me too? Like in the apartment, is there like a table? Is there a lamp? Is there
Sure.
a couch? Is there chairs? What's going on?
How prevalent were personal radios at this point?
They were there, yeah. Yeah, you have there's this little side table with a radio. You probably also have a phonograph.
Yes.
Because you want to listen to your music when you want to listen to it.
Yes.
Although, wait, here's a question. Do you listen to music anymore?
Yes, but not what I used to sing. I listen. I listen
Only
to,
instrumental now?
I don't listen to operas at all,
Okay.
ever. But I do listen to other instrumental music.
Okay.
Jazz is becoming a thing.
It is. It is.
Okay, so I'm kind of like, so there isn't really anything in between.
Not really.
But there might be something off to the side, like maybe a lamp or something.
There's a decent sized couch with like a little front table and a side table with a phonograph.
Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is to kind of like sidestep and put the couch between me and him.
Totally.
And pull out my gun from underneath my jacket.
All right, there you go.
Open fire.
So you, I'm going to say that moving around to the edge of the couch and pulling out your gun are your turn.
Okay, great.
All right. Back to the parrot.
Much shorter initiative than usual.
The parrot is it's ignoring McGillicuddy. It seems hyper-focused on both of you.
All right.
Both of you make me luck rolls.
Okay. Did I see her come out?
Lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. 25.
I did not make it.
Made it.
All right, it's going after you.
All right.
Hard success.
You don't have to be. You didn't. All you needed was
Yeah, okay.
just a success to get her.
Oh, you didn't make it.
So
I missed it by 4. That's the hilarious part.
you could. You can't spin luck on a luck roll.
No.
So
Good inspiration.
It's going to attack one of us, and I'm more worried about you taking that than I am.
So the parrot, as it emerges from the thing, it's the tips of its wings are barbed talons, and so it comes sweeping towards you with its wings. But if you've ever seen a bird like in a small room, like it doesn't feel comfortable flying because
Sure.
it doesn't know, and so it just bulls forward and is just trying to cut you with its wings. It rolls pretty well. I would suggest a dodge roll. You're going to need a good success here.
A dex or a dodge?
Dodge.
Ha! I rolled a 3.
Wow.
That was a extreme success.
Damn.
That is what you needed to
That was
dodge
exactly
this.
what I
So,
needed.
this thing comes towards you, and it just like slices forward, and you duck, and your kitchen like a swinging door,
Yeah.
and it just splinters
Okay.
from this thing shattering into it, and it will. No, it rolled really well. It's not going to get a disadvantage die next time. So you're next.
All right, so I have dropped when I saw this thing coming after me, and I'm gonna forward roll and get behind it and be like, I don't know what you are, but you are in my house.
Are you rolling under it?
So
Or are you going to try and go around
if it was sweeping forward with its wings, I want to roll under that.
Okay. I'm going to make you an offer.
All right.
You can complete that maneuver just fine,
Okay.
and that'll be your turn. Mm-hmm. Or you can make a dex roll and come up, and you can get an attack this round.
Oh, tasty.
I'm
We can't inspire any of that.
You can
If something
inspire.
goes
You can
crazy.
spend luck.
Sure.
You can inspire or look it, so.
I'll take the dex roll.
Okay.
Yep, I totally made it.
All right. So you can take a swipe at it with your knife.
Excellent. And shall.
You're getting all ninja.
Yes, 33 out of 55.
All right. Roll your damage.
Excellent. So
I think it's a D6.
D4.
D4
I wish it
plus
was
your damage
D6.
bonus.
Yes. So 5.
All right. You feel like actually no, you feel like that when like you stab into it and it lets out a "Rah!" but it's still, and when you stab it, weird blue liquid comes out of it.
Okay. And I have like a quick little flashback
Yes.
back to the connoisseur, different color, but I'm like,
Well, so but this is more blood-like because
Okay.
the Carceria, it was like a trickle, like not as much, nothing came, like you felt like something should have come out and it didn't. This is an appropriate amount for
Okay.
blood. It's just that it's blue and kind of viscous.
okay.
All right, McGillicuddy. McGillicuddy's just going to shoot and hope that he.
Doesn't hit us.
Just whatever.
He thinks there are larger issues than friendly fire right now. He's gonna shoot it. So he. Ooh, that's a pretty good hit. He does 6 points of damage. So he, from under the desk, he just like pulls out a 38 and goes blam, and hits it in one of the wings as it had leaned forward. So it's like the back of its wing gets hit. And tears some of the fibrous, feathery stuff there, and more blue goes splattering across your kitchen.
Oh, lovely.
Paint job.
Yeah, I know. I was like, it's a new color for you.
Professor,
well.
you've got a good shot here.
Can I aim for its head? Like, can I walk up and
Sure,
and see
yeah.
if we-
So you can, if you want to make an aim shot, if you get a hard success, so if you get half your gunshot skill, I will give you extra damage.
Okay.
So that's how we'll do an aim shot. Go ahead.
Oh, that was not.
Ooh, that looks good.
That looks real good.
I know. It was
So
3.
That would be a 3.
All right, so you do max damage. And you're gonna do.
Yes.
So you just walk right up. It leans forward and crashes. And you just walk right up under it and put your gun here and go blam. And you're gonna do double damage. So roll your damage twice.
All right. So that's for my 38. It's a D10. So that's 9.
So roll the
double
damage die again.
And
So you do 12 points of damage.
yep.
That's a 3, right?
Yep.
Okay.
12 points of damage.
It makes its con roll. There's a rule: if you take more than half your hit points, you have to make a con roll, or you pass out from various bad things. Usually monsters won't care about that, but sometimes they will. But you've dealt this thing a grievous blow. Like, again, your head, your mind is saying parrot because it wants to try and understand what this thing is, but it doesn't have a beak so much as it has just this maw that has like shark teeth all in it. And you just come up under it and you pull the trigger and everyone in the room is deafened, and you like the bottom of its throat, the bottom of its head is just kind of like shooting out, and these sharp teeth are just embedding in the walls.
And I'm like, keep killing it.
Keep killing it.
That's a strong contender for quote of the day.
I want those. Depends on your phrasing.
You can have them.
Just keep killing it. All right. Back to the parrot.
Who is now pretty seriously hurt, I'd imagine.
The parrot is not in a happy way. No. It's going to take a swipe at you.
Of course.
Man, poor parrot. It's going to go down like that. It misses. It like in a blind sort of pain stumble. It tries to swipe you away with a wing, but it's just
not coordinated.
It's dazed. It is bleeding to death, right. And so it's just like staggering around at this point. That's the parrot. It's you.
All right. Let me see. So it's sort of just flailing around trying to figure out which way is up at this point?
Yes. It seems like it is pre-death throes.
Excellent. I'm going to take another swipe at it.
All right, do it.
32 out of 55. I made it.
All right. Roll your damage.
3.
Okay. You stab into it, and your knife finds home, and it's continuing. Both of you make me luck rolls.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. You are both now covered in blue liquid of some sort.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's.
We're both wearing
It's.
I was like, hang on.
That worked out
Didn't get the memo?
Yeah, no, apparently not.
Oh, well. That was not planned. Your plaid.
All the cool kids wear blue.
I got splatter.
So there's just this warm, sticky, viscous blue liquid that is fairly all over you, and you just got out of the bath. Good news. My favorite Cobra villainess, the Baroness,
Thank you, Ghislaine.
has come through once again with 1,000 bits.
What's the quote? What's the Baroness quote?
Give us something.
Come on.
So,
Come on, she's challenged you.
We're actually out of G.I. Joe villains, so now I have to go. There's only like 6 of them.
Okay.
There's only like 6 G.I. Joe villains. So now we have to go to G.I. Joe themselves, and we taught, we've already done all the silly ones, like Sergeant Slaughter in the fridge, but they had some useless guys. There was a guy, Beachhead, was
I don't remember that.
their version of a Marine, and apparently what G.I. Joe thought a Marine was like a bald guy wearing a much too small hat. It kind of looked like if you were fans of the old show Oz, it's like Adebisi's hat kind of. It was let's just say that Beachhead was a gay icon and didn't realize it.
Got it.
Okay.
Wearing
Beachhead
very
is my new
tight
favorite
clothes.
insult.
Beachhead.
Beachhead.
Because of the hat.
Yes, only because of the
Nice. No one will understand a bit of what you say.
I barely get it.
But you say
it's kind of like retro.
Just put up. You can't list vehicles.
Destro, bats.
I did
I like
Destro,
those
I did Tomax and Zaymot, and then the rest are vehicles.
Thomas, I say this with the deepest love and appreciation. You nerd.
Tomax and Zaymot were the very first
I
one.
bet you he had all the all those figurines too.
Major Blood
But you
was
still
awesome.
does.
Major Blood had a robot arm, but his robot arm didn't bend. Like on the figure or in the
So he's like, hey, come here.
So Major Blood was just always like, bam. It was worst action figure. Major Blood.
Oh my god. Please, so here's just my character wants one. Just in case
A
something
robot
happens
arm?
that doesn't work.
There you go.
I love that Sai can control.
I think we're going to save that for the Star Wars game. That'll be
Okay.
Whenever that comes back around.
Gotta have the oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's your G.I. Joe moment for
Yep.
this week.
Whoops.
I love now Thomas is wikiing
Yeah.
wikiing G.I. Joe.
I'm going to
villains.
bet you he didn't have to for that list.
Not at all.
No,
That
but
was
again,
a quick list.
like most of those were vehicles. I'm not going to mention the vehicles. That's far down the list.
Unless
the
it's
villains.
Unless it's Kit or
Yeah, kids kind of cool.
Yeah,
I don't even wanna
Storm Shadow.
stop. Yeah, I remember Storm Shadow.
Yeah, Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow's awesome.
You know, the ninja who wore white all the
Yeah,
time.
you know. Well, if you're in the snow, it's a snow ninja.
It's a
He was an
snow
Arctic
ninja.
There you
ninja.
go. There you go.
Arctic.
It's a hot ninja.
Yeah, hot ninja.
All right, so you're covered in the goo. You just went. McGillicuddy's going to fire away.
Pew pew. Fire away. Fire away.
Both of you make me luck rolls.
Oh no. Nope.
Missed it by 3.
Ooh, how much did you miss it by?
30 something.
All right.
Wow.
You know what's funny? That's what was my original, but we've been losing luck. So.
Right.
Yeah.
You get shot in the arm for 4 points of damage.
Like a
off the
graze or like a full-on.
It's a graze. The bullet
Okay.
is not in your arm.
Okay.
It doesn't
me
feel
asking,
like
I
a
was
graze.
like, oh no, is it graze?
So it doesn't get infected.
Well, there's
Back
that.
to you, Professor.
Can hail that with our system over.
Yeah, we're just
Which-
we're gonna
Which arm?
You failed it by 30, and your knife arm.
Blast.
dang.
All right.
So you're kind of like.
You still held on to your knife.
Yes.
So I'm gonna continue. Like, if I can like point blank this thing. I'm
Sure.
gonna
Again,
try.
I'll give you if you make a hard success, you'll do extra damage. I mean,
No, but I didn't.
you didn't fumble,
didn't
so
fumble.
that's fine. Okay. Yeah. This thing's moving around a lot. It's staggering, almost drunkenly, and it's hard to like, to the
Right.
extent that you could predict horrible dinosaur parrot,
Flailing
movements.
around.
It's even harder than normal to predict. So you just fire a shot off. All right, we're back to the parrot.
My neighbors are all awake at this point.
Yeah, why is
Yeah,
it
well,
showing
How
up?
many shots have there been? 3, 4 shots.
There have been 4 gunshots. Yes, no,
And
there
a lot
are.
of nasty
lot of-
squawking.
and
So
Snapping.
at this
Feet on
point,
the ground.
the parrot will make a strength roll. Ho. All right. On the plus side, you have a new balcony.
You've been remodeled.
just for you.
A new paint job. New decor with teeth.
The horrible beast
Fix it up.
just like lurches forward into the wall, smashes into the wall and through the wall, and takes flight.
Oh my god, we gotta kill it.
Kill it.
We gotta kill it.
Both of you make me spot hidden rolls.
Okay.
Nope. Totally made it.
Okay.
Like 15, 48.
So you notice, or are reminded, like you like watch it fly out, and then you look down and you see the sort of deflated corpse of Mathis sitting on the like flumped on the sofa, and it's literally like a costume at this point. It's
Right.
completely empty.
Right.
But it's also a tough explanation. Are either of you going to do anything about the parrot flying away? Are you going to like fire
Fire at it.
randomly into the New York night?
Absolutely.
Like everybody else.
Oh, it's New Year's.
Yep.
we're near Harlem.
Yeah.
You know.
Are we in New York or Fairbanks, Alaska?
All right, make me a gunfire roll. You can. McGillicuddy will.
No.
All right.
I fumbled that. It was a 98.
Uh-oh.
I must have slipped in the
But it's out.
goo.
I'm going to make you an offer.
Okay.
Oh no.
You can have something awful happen to you, or you can have something awful happen to another person.
Myself.
All right.
It was my fumble.
So you're not going to just shoot into an apartment then.
I'm gonna slip and shoot my own foot probably.
You're going. So you come running forward to what is now a large picture window, and make me a dex roll as there's a puddle of goo.
All right. Oh, I made that.
All right. So in a
So you don't go falling through
in a
the doors.
replay of the last time you met this thing, you start to
Deja
like
vu.
fall out of a more than one-story building, but you at the last minute you grab onto a drape and you are like hanging over the edge. You're like leaning out over the third floor of Melrose Avenue in New York, and you're acutely aware of like your grip on this thing is all that's keeping you from
Falling.
splatting.
All right, I'm gonna drop the dagger and come and try to grab her with my other arm.
Okay,
to, like,
when you
haul her back
when she runs forward, McGillicuddy, like what snaps him out of this of the panic that he was in is shooting you. Like he's like, oh God, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh God, I'm so sorry. And he like starts to like try and like do first aid on you.
SWAT.
All right. Okay, so you get her back in. That's
I'm much more concerned about her falling 3 stories
Yeah.
than I am about my arm bleeding.
You get her back in, and McGillicuddy is just like slumped on the floor, just like staring at the Mathis puddle.
Shoot it!
The Mathis puddle is not moving.
No, the
The
parrot.
bird?
No, the
oh,
bird.
no. McGillicuddy's done, and the bird is out of sight now.
Yeah.
The bird is gone.
Of course. Darn it.
All right. So is he doing first aid on my arm or my? Okay.
We'll do first aid. You get 3 points back.
Yay! Thank you.
Well, he did it, so he feels.
Somewhat responsible.
Yeah.
So does that make his first aid more effective?
He gets a challenge die.
Yes.
I've seen one of those before.
What?
You have? Where? Peru. Of course it was Peru.
Peru?
Yep.
Who the hell are you people? What happened to?
Your partner.
I've known Billy for 20 years.
You might want to sit down, sir. There's some weird things going on, and I can explain a little bit of it, but not very much of it.
I'm gonna call Emma. Let
That's
her
a
know
good
what's going
idea.
on.
That's a very good idea. First of all, we're private investigators.
Again.
This better be good.
Ring. Emma!
What? What, ma? Coming! Doom, boom, 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 boom. Thud, slam, bam, bam, bam.
Emma!
Yeah, I'm
Are
coming!
you boarded a barn?
Shut the door!
Try to sleep here.
I'm sorry. Continue with
It's fine.
You hear police sirens, many police sirens. And McGillicuddy is just like, what?
It's a long story. So your partner is not your partner, obviously. He was possessed by that monster that you saw flying out of here.
What?
That's all I know. There's these things. They apparently inhabit human beings.
Oh wow! He just critically made his sanity roll. So like you're like saying all this stuff, and he just like kind of he just goes. He like you see like the mania sort of leave his eyes, and he like immediately becomes policeman.
He goes into cop mode.
Yeah, and he's just like, all right, this is a crime scene.
You don't have to tell me twice.
picking teeth out of the wall.
Yeah,
And we're covered in this stuff.
look, whatever happened here, all I know is Billy told me that we got orders from the captain to come and just give you a talking to, and he told me to just back him up, and he's Billy, I'm going to back him up, but
Captain who?
Captain Robson.
Grab my notebook, write it down.
You've already heard that name. He's the captain of the Globetrotters.
He plays center.
Suddenly you hear Sweet Georgia Brown. But I mean, how do we explain this?
That's a good question.
I gotta talk to his wife.
I think probably the best explanation is to not try explaining it in whole, because if you do, you will probably be locked up in Bedlam or the nearest equivalent. As will all of us, because it sounds as insane as it actually is.
It's a little odd to me that you came here at such an hour for an investigation. And you
Oh, no,
said
we
the
weren't investigating. We were supposed to lean on you guys a little.
That's all you were supposed to do.
I mean, we've done that a lot, a million
Because
times.
you guys already had our statement from before. And I understand, well, what do you think now? What are you going to tell your captain now? I mean, look at what's happened. Your friends are coming here soon. We're going to explain goo and a hole in the wall. It was an explosion, chemical thing. I mean, what are we going to say?
Look, I owe you both a lot. You got rid of that thing. I may have shot you.
You did, in fact, shoot me.
I may have shot you. Or not.
I'm well aware of which direction that bullet came
So
from.
I'm going to do what I can to try and keep the attention off of you guys.
Still waiting for Emma to come to the phone.
Yeah, you're like standing at the phone.
Just waiting.
Oh, we're going to do this now?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Honestly, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was like, whenever you guys are done, I'll...
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Okay, now, seriously, better be good.
Parrot shark thing. Ring a bell?
Yeah?
It was here in my apartment. It's gone now, and I have a new veranda door.
Don't forget to mention the blue goo everywhere.
Yes, it bleeds blue, and it was inhabiting the body of a police officer.
This is all just... This is crazy.
Yes.
We're lucky to be alive. Just saying.
Wait a minute. So start again.
All right.
So what?
So
Parrot shark.
you're not helping.
Okay. The
Just
parrot
not
shark.
helping Octavia. In essence, we returned to my apartment after the stakeout. She called you, and right after we hung up, the police showed up at my door.
Okay.
It was
Got you so far.
McGillicuddy and Mathis, correct?
Yes.
They showed up at my door. They were very insistent that they come in and talk to us to the point where I was afraid there was going to be violence done. Finally let them in, and Mathis apparently turned into that thing. I'm not quite sure what happened. I was in the kitchen, but it looks. If I had to. If I had to give a description, the body of Mathis looks kind of like a banana peel after the banana's not there anymore.
Got it. And
Just tell her like it was in Peru. The guy.
Apparently, it's like it was in Peru.
okay, hang on. God, now I went blank. I was like, what's your name again?
Put Jackson.
No, put Jackson Elias on the phone.
You want Octavia?
Yeah, could you?
Here.
Hello.
So was what's his name there? Bob Johnson or Bob Smith? What's his name? What was his name? Bob Smith. His name was Bob Smith. I swear to God, it was Bob Smith.
The African
Bob
guy?
Smith.
No, it was.
Who's the guy who told us to leave Peru or whatever? Bob Smith.
The guy who fell out the window.
Yeah,
no,
what was his-
he was not
no,
here.
But didn't he register at the hotel as Bob Smith?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay. So he isn't.
Just the cops.
He wasn't there, and these are two people that you've never seen before.
Never seen before. They weren't even the same cops that knocked on our window earlier. But I'm pretty sure the guy we saw coming out of the Juju house was a cop being paid off.
Okay.
And the captain is what ordered to put pressure. I just talked to Mathis about this. Or not Mathis, McGillicuddy about it.
Okay.
McGillicuddy clearly said that the captain instructed the two of them to put pressure on us, even though they already had our statement. So they've known. They were
Okay.
asking questions about Peru.
Okay. So why did you open the door? Let's start there.
It was her. I don't know. I was in the bathroom.
Okay.
Taking a shower.
Rule number one.
Let me give you Alexandria.
What?
Okay. We're gonna get locks for your doors.
We're going to get me a new door and fix this wall
Okay.
because that's a door that I can't close at this point.
Okay, so then what story have you guys come up with so when the real police actually show up?
They are minutes away. And
Gilligan's like, hey,
you didn't hear that? There's a speakerphone.
I was thinking a chemical explosion.
Octavia
Okay.
was thinking something along the lines of a chemical explosion,
Okay.
would deflated a man.
Somehow.
Strange things happen in
Spontaneous
chemical
combustion.
eruptions. I suppose we can move his body to the kitchen because that's where most of the blue blood is at
Okay.
the moment.
All right. Do you need me to come over?
Most of the blue bloods in Connecticut.
Possibly.
Okay.
It's a lot to clean up.
Do you need me to come over?
I don't know why. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Do you want to
except-
come over and clean up alien blood?
Not really. But what I'm going to do here.
We
Bring a couple buckets.
Well, you know police officers,
Yes.
don't you? Then you at least know how to speak to them. I
get my brother to do it.
Yeah, I was about to say. It's pretty rudely, and there's a lot of yelling and fighting over the breadsticks. But then,
in every line of work that I have ever done, I have had as little contact with the police as I can possibly have.
And a reminder that my demeanor with him just doesn't work.
okay, let me put some clothes on. At this point, I would just, I don't know, I mean, just be as semi-honest as possible without giving up too much information.
Just be as semi-honest.
You know what I mean? Be honest, but don't volunteer anything.
We could
Get your story straight, repeat it a couple times, don't change the story, stick to the same story, know it backwards and forwards. I'll be there in a minute.
Terrifying.
She's definitely a cop sister.
So
Your brother is on duty tonight.
Yeah.
So you could call in,
Ring him up.
and see
Okay,
if he'll.
and just find out. I mean,
he'll be there.
Yeah.
If you want something, he'll be there.
Okay.
I don't know. We do need to decide what our story is. A chemical explosion works, or because he's quite dead, and his body
quite
looks
empty.
Yeah.
You hear from the street. You hear a voice go, everything okay up there?
I go and lean over to look.
There's a police officer
just say,
looking up.
Is he standing on the pile of rubble?
Ma'am?
It's. Oh, I don't want to shout.
here, let me do it. It's a chemical explosion. Yes, we could use your help.
Thank you.
All right, he's gonna start. When you say chemical explosion, he goes to the police call box on the corner, and he starts talking on that. And you hear the sirens getting much closer. You think that they are very close to being here.
All right, so we're going with. So I step back into the room and look.
This guy's gonna keep basically. If people are coming out, he's gonna tell them to go back in and try and control the crowds and that sort of thing.
All right.
Is the cop still down there kind of...
That's what he's doing.
Oh, that's what he's
gonna-
doing now.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so chemical explosion is our best bet. My arm is reasonably okay, and I can hide it under a jacket.
So
So
how's that a chemical explosion?
It's blue. Do you have any other explanation?
It's blue.
the goop.
The goop.
that
Look
is
at
all
it's
over
everywhere.
us.
Isn't that blood?
Yes.
Sure, but they don't know that. Do you got a better idea?
Something that accounts for a dead police officer body and a very large hole. And I imagine the neighbors are going to report gunshots. We can pass that off as part of the explosion if we need to.
We blame this on the cult.
What cult?
We blame it on the murders.
Oh.
This Adams
I
guy.
like that. What cult?
Isn't he in jail?
Yeah, but he's probably got accomplices.
Probably does, but
And they attacked you. And you called the police,
Yes.
and Officer Mathis and I responded. Mm-hmm. And Officer Mathis was killed in the line of duty. His wife will get a pension. And that's going to be the end of it.
If you can help us sell that story, it seems reasonable enough.
Both of you, do either of you have any law skill?
No.
I will when I get there.
I'm a little bit.
If you have
5%.
law, you can make a roll.
I have literally the base minimum.
Yeah. Well, you
Have
can
to
make a
roll
roll.
it.
if you
I mean, it's worth a shot as long as I don't fumble it.
Fumbling won't matter in this case.
Okay, no.
Okay.
It was a good roll.
So there's. I mean, yeah, that seems like the best plan that has been put forth that doesn't
especially coming together in 5 minutes. All right, so cultists burst in, attacked us.
No. Let's not say cultists.
All right.
Let's say
a strange man. There was a
gang members. It's a gang.
All right.
And
Wouldn't it make more sense that we don't know who it is? A strange man came in and attacked us.
sure.
If you want to attach it to being that guy, maybe he had a tattoo or something, and that's how you're figuring out that it's a gang, but we wouldn't know that necessarily.
Well, if we connect it to that Adams character, then the captain doesn't ask as many questions.
Yes, and keeping the captain from asking questions seems a valuable life skill at the moment.
All right, now both of you make an intelligence roll.
This is much happier for me.
I have 75. Ooh,
Critical.
critical too.
All right, so successes. You are both sure that this plan involves further framing an innocent man. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, expediency has its place, but you're both with critical successes. You are both sure that
This is going to sink him further.
It's clear they're just using this Hilton Adams guy for any crime that happens.
We have, we don't have anything to prove that it had anything to do with Adams. Why don't we just say it's a chemical explosion? He pulled something out. We were trying to show you guys that there was a strange parcel left on your doorstep. We went to open it. Mathis opened it up, and it exploded. That's simple.
It exploded with no fire damage, no blast marks whatsoever, and somehow deflated him.
Yeah, well.
Well, I mean, being attacked by gang members would
That's
have
much more of an implosion.
Could be acid, though. Could be acid.
Yes, but
Acid burns.
acid does burn.
But it melted his bones.
That being said,
So he drank it?
some random gang members coming in wouldn't deflate him either, or account for all of the blue viscous stuff
And
all
that's
over my
why,
walls.
if we finger it to these guys, nobody asks questions.
But that'll further implicate Hilton
right.
Adams, won't it?
He's killed 8 people.
Has he?
Well, that's what they tell me.
And you believe everything they tell you?
What if it wasn't?
did.
What if he was an innocent man?
He might be innocent. You
We're
saw,
just
you
putting
saw,
another
you saw
nail
yourself.
I
to
mean,
coffin.
he would. Everybody in prison says they're innocent.
Yes, but in this case, where we just dealt with something that rather forcefully is not Adams. Or
So,
anything of this world.
There are now footsteps coming up the stairs.
We don't have time. We need to decide what we're doing.
You got to tell him. Look, I'm gonna talk to him. You guys are, you're both traumatized by what's happened, and I'll make this go away. I owe you. I have to make good, and I got to make sure that Billy's wife gets that pension.
She would still get the pension if he died in line of duty from an explosion. It's still duty.
Look, there's going to be an investigation if that happens.
There won't
If I point this to Adams, done.
Let's just.
All right.
Okay. So he.
I'm gonna go and hide all of my various sharp things.
And just before he turns, I'm like, should we clean up or stay?
It's fine. Don't worry about it. So he goes out, and 2 officers have made it up the stairs, and you hear him have a conversation where he starts to give them a very just the facts sort of open and shut case. People who worked with the murderer Hilton Adams burst into this room, obviously trying to steal for some reason, and kill more. These ladies are friends of that writer who died the other day, and they're just trying to they took a trip with him to Peru, and there's they must know, they probably had some information that these guys wanted, but they burst in, and yeah, it's pretty open shut case, and unfortunately. Officer Mathis died in the line of duty protecting these two innocent women. Two cops look in the room, and one of them shudders. And
I tip him a sarcastic little 2-finger salute.
You're covered in blue blood.
Yo.
And I'm just like,
he makes his sand roll. And it looks like McGillicuddy is
making headway.
Is controlling the situation. So as long as you're okay with this and go along with this story, nothing else will happen here.
I'm not okay with this. But
okay with this. I think we need to get the band back together, though.
We this is not something that we need to decide on our own, I think. I don't. It would not be the first time that an innocent person has been framed, but I don't care for it.
So you get there.
Yep.
And you see a chunk of the building is gone. From where you can see into her. You look up and you're looking into her apartment.
And it kind of is the same MO. I mean, from the outside, I'm like, yep. Shark bird.
There is a police officer at the doorway to the building, and when you get out, he's like, "Ma'am, please don't. This is a crime scene."
Is it okay if I want? My friends are upstairs. It's their apartment.
Can I lean out of the hole and see her?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you're pretty busy right now, but yeah, they'll send you up. Okay. So you get up there. Actually, the guy knows your brother.
Okay.
And so you name drop.
And while I was on my way...
What did we say your brother's name was?
Frank. Frank's the cop.
Okay.
Frank
and so I called my brother and asked him to just look for the police report and see if there's anything, if there's any sort of follow-up or anything weird, or if it's just going to be something that gets filed and dealt with, or in... 72 hours. Are there problems? Is there additional follow-up? Is there any recommendations? Because then we'll deal with that.
I turn to McGillicuddy and say,
he's out on the landing talking to two cops, but yeah.
Excuse me. I'd like to also bring one of our other team members here. She's part of our...
Sure. We'll send a car. You give him Belle's address. Mm-hmm. All right, so about...
God damn it. I'm just enjoying sleeping.
Yeah, I'm just when you thought you were going to sleep.
So, about 1 a.m.
Sorry, man. You don't get a long rest.
The phone rings in your hotel room.
Hello.
Click.
Madam, I'm so sorry to bother you. There are 2 policemen here to see you.
Okay.
In the lobby.
I'll be down in a moment.
Of course. He hears your voice. He says, "We'll have some tea waiting."
Thank you.
Everything's
now I get up. I'm ready.
Good call.
So yeah, you come down and 2 police officers, as you're drinking the tea, they tell you that there's been an incident at the home of one Alexandra that she asked you to come along. They said they need you there.
Okay, what happened?
It looks like they were attacked by gang members.
Are they okay?
It seems to be. We're hearing there's only minor injuries.
All right, may I go there?
Of course. Yeah, we're here to take you there.
Perfect.
So they get you in a squad car, and they tear through the city.
Are you kidding? Can't be. You gotta come join the party.
You pull up. There are a number of they've got the street blocked off. There are a bunch of police that are clearing the rubble out, and there is a crew that is now putting paper over the hole in your wall.
Thank you.
Just like butcher paper, basically. That
some version of privacy.
It is January.
It's very cold. It's very cold. Yeah, you're gonna probably want to stay in the hotel for many reasons. For several reasons.
At least 5 off the top of my head.
Yeah. So you 3 are at the top. You've told her everything.
Yeah, I
that
was
happened.
let's go in the kitchen.
She knows the backup story. You get there. They're in the kitchen. You see the devastation that's gone on.
Still pulling blue goo out of her hair.
The blue is new. The last one didn't bleed blue, that you recall. The last one didn't really bleed at all.
No, we didn't do that much.
The last one actually, I believe you two were the only two that saw it of the people here.
Fly away. Yeah.
And it evaporated.
Yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw
thought
it
just-
evaporate too. Jackson Elias shot it, and
Yeah.
it went,
Yeah, and then just
and
like, pff.
and it sounded human just before it died.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, you're all up to speed.
I have a quick question. Is it the same shark parrot that we saw before? Like, do we think it's the exact same one, or do you think
It
that?
did not seem like the exact.
Okay, so we think that
So it has a brother.
So there's more than one of these things.
Bob Smith is making more.
God damn.
Same. Bob Smith.
Making more, summoning more.
That too. I mean, to me, it's making more.
One way or t'other.
About 1:30, a tall, sort of slightly overweight man comes walking in. The police officer, you see him flash a badge. Captain Walter Robson
Ah.
Uh-oh.
walks in, and he talks with McGillicuddy for a moment. And then he looks over and he
Have we cleaned up at this point, or are we still covered in goop?
you've cleaned up, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You were actually packing to
Yeah.
go
stay at a
somewhere
hotel.
else because the police are this apartment's gonna not be condemned, but it's gonna need a lot of work done before in January. We just don't think anybody should stay here.
No, it's
You
too
can stay
cold.
with me.
Thank you.
And by with you mean just in an adjoining room.
As soon as possible, I'll get someone in here at the top of the line to fix your apartment.
I really appreciate that.
Just get a new apartment. Like, move.
I'm fond of this one, and I own it.
Okay.
Robson comes forward and he says, ladies, I am terribly sorry about what happened here. My name is Captain Walter Robson. Can I be of any assistance? Do you need a place to stay?
I believe I found a place to stay. Thank you.
Okay. So, look, I think it's clear that this was not, he points at what's left of Mathis, and he's, I think it's clear that something extraordinary happened here, and I'm not asking anybody to explain anything, because I don't know what happened here. You don't know what happened here. But, I'm just saying, I know some things. You know some things. Maybe you guys go on a trip. Maybe you go somewhere. Take a vacation. A well-earned vacation.
Do you have any recommendations? It's January. I don't usually travel during this time of year.
Yeah, Florida's nice, maybe. I'm just saying that, I am perfectly willing to accept Officer McGillicuddy's testimony in this matter and make sure that Officer Mathis and his widow are well taken care of. But if certain investigations that you may be undertaking right now were to continue, I might have to reopen this investigation. And that could have, some effects on your standing vis-a-vis local law enforcement, is all I'm saying.
It's all you're saying.
That's all.
So, Captain, I appreciate your concern for our safety and well-being. That's
Thank
quite
you.
chivalrous of you. As I grab him by the arm and just start sweeping him back towards the door.
To the captain?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he'll sort of go along and say, well, you just think about what I said, huh?
And I'm just curious, Captain, if there would be, I don't know, extra protection, because again, like you've seen, miscreants just seem to come after us, and we were minding our own business here.
Oh, sure. You know what? You tell me where you stand, and I will make sure that I have men with you 24/7.
We'll call you and let you know when we
all
get
the
settled.
extra protection you need.
Thank you, sir.
The door that is no longer there.
Exactly. I fake slam it behind.
He goes up to McGillicuddy
Okay.
after that, and he has a long talk with McGillicuddy. And unless any of you do anything else, you're gonna go to a hotel and get a place to stay.
And not tell him where we're going.
I'd like to inconspicuously listen to some of the things he's saying to McGillicuddy, if that's possible.
It sounds like he's consoling him.
Okay.
He's like, trying to build him back up and like, you lost your partner. This is terrible. I'll make sure that Karen is well taken care of.
All right, that's all.
He seems to be, if one wishes to be cynical, he seems to be recouping his investment in Officer McGillicuddy, and making sure that McGillicuddy will do what he wants.
Got it.
If push comes to shove.
Got it.
So
His loyalty again.
Yeah.
I do want to look at the other ladies and ask very quietly, do we think that he's one of them? Absolutely. An actual. Yeah. All right.
I mean, I don't think he's a bird, but
We did.
He's a shark bird.
that too. I don't think he's a shark or a bird.
We didn't think
Chicken
that
piranha.
Mathis was either. He looked like a normal person until he wasn't.
There's somebody like behind this, Robson. I mean, he said the identical thing almost to us as Bob Smith.
Right.
Our friend Bob Smith. It's the same warning.
He didn't tell you to leave Peru,
No, he
Well,
didn't.
no.
But he told us to go to Peru, essentially.
Florida.
Stop it.
Same place.
Stop interfering.
Yeah, it's the same message. It's odd that it's coming from. I mean, unless. I'm getting a little Jackson Elias here, but unless there's a demon body hopping between Walter Robson and Bob Smith.
I think that they're
And it
two
keeps
different.
saying-
You said that this wasn't the same thing that was in Peru, right?
Not precisely. Like the mall was different, and
And were the colors the same, or were
not exactly
Okay.
the same. It was off, but it was. It's like if you look at one chicken and you see another chicken, they look different. You can differentiate between.
wonder if it tastes like chicken.
Oh, I hope.
Or roasted orc.
Yeah, I was like, we should catch it next time.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, how do you catch a bird?
So I had this.
Anyway.
I don't know, but I know how to kill it.
Yeah.
I don't know what your skills stretch, but maybe one of those teeth you might be able to utilize.
I'm down to pull out my dagger. I try taking all the teeth off the wall.
Yeah, you pull out some teeth, sure.
Yeah. So
I want to collect some of the
Yeah,
blood.
so you know a little bit about police procedures. They are not doing any crime scene
No.
work
Yeah.
in this place.
They're
There's
just
no,
taping it off and
Yeah,
yeah.
there's no like, hey, we should take pictures of everything, or like,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm just
here's a
assuming,
bullet hole.
I'm just assuming it's a bunch of dudes milling around eating donuts and like picking through our stuff.
Yeah, I think that is
Yeah, that's about right.
that is about what's going on.
It's a sock. No.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, "Ooh, is this expensive?"
yeah. So I've packed up my carpet bag too.
It's 80% knives.
I wasn't going to say it, but yes.
Like every piece of clothing is wrapped around the guy. It's like, and then this dress to wrap this one, and then this dress to wrap that one.
Pretty much.
She's
Pretty
Marie
much.
Kondoing her knives.
Yeah. This one brings me joy. This one does not.
They all bring me joy.
Thank you
Do you
very
have your
much.
whetstone? Like a whetstone to sharpen them?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so you end up at. Are you going to stay at the same hotel that she's at?
Yes, but further down the floor, if they have that, I don't want us to be right next to each other because I don't want that to be an easy target.
Yeah.
And are you going to use your name?
I'd use a fake.
I'm going to use a fake name.
All right, so yeah, you check in under a fake name. And are you going to stay at the
Of which-
hotel, or are you
what's
going to
your
stay at
fake
your
name?
house?
Irene
Your
Adler.
house is not
Okay.
in Manhattan.
No.
It's quite late.
It's pretty late. I will stay at the hotel.
Okay. And
Not under my name either.
sure. And you're just going to go home?
Yeah, otherwise I get in trouble.
Irish mums. They're scary.
Italian.
Yeah,
Italian, sorry.
Same thing. About the same thing.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna zoom ahead next day, and we're gonna head to the funeral of Jackson Elias.
We made it.
Finally. Finally.
And
Well, it took a session and a half.
yeah, that's right. So the morning of the 17th dawns. It is bitter cold, and there is snow. There's snow on the ground, and there's more coming. And the funeral is in the afternoon, so you guys all gather in the morning. You gain a hit point back for
you.
a night of rest.
I am back at full.
And there is you guys decide to meet somewhere, and everybody, you three make me spot hidden rolls.
Not me.
You're not at the hotel.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Critical success.
I
Roll
missed it
one.
by 2.
All right.
hell.
There is very clearly a 2 uniformed police officers just sort of standing around out front of the hotel, and they're not they're not like watching everyone that goes by, but they're just sort of very clearly like just standing there.
What do you think? Should we say hello to the nice officers outside?
I'm down to take the back door out.
I'm with her.
I'm with you two.
Okay.
The hotel will call you a cab to go to the funeral home, which is in Brooklyn. And so you guys meet up. You have lunch beforehand. You go. You make it out, and you don't see any. You go out the back door and hail a cab. You get there, and you make it to the funeral. The funeral is non-denominational. It is fairly brief. There is. It's at Cypress Hills Cemetery.
How many people are there?
It is closed casket.
Do we recognize anybody?
So there are not many people there.
And can we tell if, because I know he didn't necessarily have family, but is there anybody who's actually grieving versus is this more like a professional funeral?
Yeah. So the thing you immediately notice is there are 3 people who seem to be actively grieving.
Okay.
One of them has a young woman with him who is sort of like, oh, I have to be here.
Yeah.
And then at the back of the room there are 3 people who are clearly reporters. They have like notebooks and they're they're taking notes and that sort of thing. You see so the ceremony happens and then the priest who's presiding asks for people to give short remembrances of the departed. And so the first man to stand up is this guy. He's short. He's pudgy. He has a very soft manner to him, and he introduces himself as I'm Jonas Kensington. I was Jackson's publisher with Prospero House.
Yeah, that's.
He was the only person that I hire who sold books, and he was a great man. He tried so hard to do good things around the world, and I'm so touched and glad that I was able to be a small part of his work, and I want to figure out a way for his work to continue. So that's the first guy is Jonah Kensington, and then there is an African American gentleman steps up. He's well dressed, very well taken care of. He steps up and he's a little uncomfortable and he just says, "Well, I'm Carlton Ramsey and I was Mr. Elias's attorney, and he was a good man, and I'm just very sad to see this happen, and my memories of him are as a crusader. Jackson Elias knew there was wrong in the world and knew that he could be a force to undo that wrong, and he died because of it. And let's see, is the third person the third person is one of the reporters who steps up. She's a wiry woman. She's got New York tough written all over her, and she is she introduces herself as Rebecca Shoshonenberg, and she's a reporter for the New York Times. And she says that she worked with Jackson. She always calls him Jackson, not Mr. Elias. She worked with Jackson very closely on a number of stories, and some of his ideas were a little out there, but he was a good man.
When she says some of his ideas are out there, I look around. Does anybody have kind of like a reaction to that? Because inside, I'm giggling.
Kensington nods.
Okay.
You know, Kensington like nods along with that. He was a good man, and he wanted to help everybody he met, and I'll miss him. Anybody want to say a few words, a memory of Jackson Elias, the time he almost blew up a pyramid?
Yeah.
Really liked cheesecake.
Yep.
You know.
We'll have cheesecake tonight in his honor.
There's cheesecake at this ceremony.
Of course there is. As long as there's not also cilantro.
Yeah.
Cilantro cheesecake. So
soapy
at the
cheesecake.
funeral, there is indeed a little, sort of sad reception because there's like 7 of you there. And you notice that Miss Shoshonenberg is like eyeing you guys. And so finally she will she'll approach you and she'll say, so how did you know Jackson?
We met him on a cross transatlantic flight. Sorry.
Oh, one of his trips to London?
Actually, back from London. That's where we met him. That's where we discovered he had a penchant for cheesecake. I think he ate out the entire, and then I start getting like misty.
Right.
Oh, and he ate out the entire like boat of it, and they had to, make more for him. And
when you get a
he
little
was
misty,
so much fun.
like she like notices that, and she like clearly like that sort of lowers her shields a little. That you guys actually knew him and sort of.
He liked champagne with it too.
Yeah, whatever.
It's an odd combination, but it worked for him.
He kind of had a penchant for all dairy products, I think, in general. Like, that was just...
And, I mean, do you know anything about his murder? I mean, they're blaming it on Hilton Adams, but Hilton Adams is in prison.
I know, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
No.
Everybody make an intelligence roll.
Time to ruin some dice.
Ooh, critical success.
Boom!
Success. Not a critical,
All right,
but a
Nope.
success.
Nobody knows.
A 6.
You can only ruin
Ruined.
so.
But on the bright side, they're only ruined for Call of Cthulhu.
Exactly.
They're fine. They're great for
Every
D&D.
other game, fine.
So both of you remember that Rebecca Shoshonenberg wrote the obituary, the article about Jackson Elias, and also you had an article about Hilton Adams that she wrote.
That's right. I skipped over her name when I was reading it because I was like, I can't pronounce that last name.
I thought the name sounded familiar.
And she actually, she invites you. She's got some research and stuff. And if you want to come by the Times sometime, I can share it with you. I'd love to try and figure out like who did this to Jackson. And
Well, and did you when was the last time you spoke to him?
it was a couple weeks ago.
Okay. And did he say that he was into something specific, or?
No, he was leaving for London and then Shanghai.
Okay.
Did he say why he was going to Shanghai?
He said he was following the Carlisle expedition.
Oh. All right.
That explains.
About this time, Carlton Ramsey, the attorney, he sort of comes up and he says, "Pardon me, I believe, ladies, that
Oh God, I don't want it.
I want to I want to invite you. You are named in Mr. Elias's will,
Oh boy.
Oh.
No, I'm not surprised, actually.
and if you don't mind, maybe you would come by my office and we could read the will, and I could. I'm the executor of his estate, and I think that you're going to want to hear Mr. Elias's
Last Testament.
will and testament. Yes.
Yeah, it's a very kind offer.
So he makes an appointment with you for 2 days from now, the
Okay.
19th.
While we're standing there, kind of just saying that, I just Mr. Ramsey, that was actually really touching what you said about Jackson Elias. That he was, trying to right wrongs. Did he have any? And I know you can't disclose anything like necessary, but when he said he did good works, were there any sort of groups that he contributed to? Did he, leave anything for any groups, like charitable things? Like what kind of essentially what I'm driving at is how do you
Right.
what wrongs was he righting? Like what was his biggest
I think
champion?
that-
What did he?
I think
what
I'd
cause
be
did he
far more
champion?
comfortable if I let Mr. Elias speak up to that, and his will is fairly specific in that regard. I can tell you that he came to my office a few days ago and changed and made some adjustments to his will that
recently.
will, I believe, answer some of your questions.
Did he seem distressed when he came to see you, or was it very casual meeting? Was he concerned?
I believe he was concerned. Yes,
Okay.
and I think that you will see when he
Okay.
returns. When you come to my office, I think that will answer many questions. But I hope you'll understand there are certain legal steps that I have to take as an attorney, and
Yes,
so
of course.
If you don't mind, if you'll come over on the 19th, we can handle this matter.
All right.
But if you want to, I would also recommend that you talk to Jonah. He might have some insight into Mr. Elias's.
Jonas?
Yes, Jonah Kensington.
Oh, it's Jonah, not Jonas.
It's Jonah. He said Jonas.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
It's Jonah. Okay. Where's?
It's
Where is he? I'm like, where's he on the table?
this dude.
Ah, okay, so he's Jonah Kensington. All right.
So Jonah seems like he's a little bit in shock. He's kind of, he's clearly distraught, but he's also sort of just numb. There's a that's the feeling that you get. And he says, "Oh, hello, ladies." And he looks at each of you. Have any of you read Jackson's book from Peru?
Yes.
All right.
Probably.
No.
So yeah,
I do own a copy though. I never read it, but I did go and buy a copy.
Jackson Elias, thanks you.
I just looked for the parts with my name.
Well, so that's the thing.
Did he change names to protect the guilty?
There were
me.
Everybody was sort of pseudonym,
Okay.
and it was clearly
That's good.
papered over to not make it seem as
Crazy.
creepy and crazy as everything.
When I
was.
read the parts about me, did I get super angry? Like, what? I didn't do that.
Most of the ones about you are about complaining.
Exactly. This is bullshit. Slam it down on my
Fair
nightstand.
cop, Governor. Fair cop.
But so Kensington sort of looks at you each, and then he starts to peg you as your pseudonyms. Jackson talked about that trip to Peru a lot. He really it seemed to really have an effect on him, and to really change his outlook on his work and what he was doing.
Yes, it was a very changing sort of trip.
Yeah, it seems like that trip is where he started to.
Opinions on this, all right?
I mean, that's where he really sort of turned the corner to. It started getting harder to sell his books. He started to write some pretty fantastic stuff, and it was a little strange. Was it? I mean,
Did he talk about what he's writing next?
he was working on a book about the Carlisle expedition.
Okay.
And
Did he kind of give you the angle on it? Like, what was his take on it?
Like, do you have a manuscript?
You're just like, can I read them? Can I read them?
Yeah, can I read it?
Any
I mean,
notes, maybe a diary. Or
Yeah.
he did.
You said you wanted to see his work continued. How would you go and describe what that would entail? I mean, what would you imagine? I mean, you have plans for the future regarding continuing his work?
Well, I really think you should talk to Mr. Ramsey about that. But I do, Jackson spoke very highly of you after your.
I'm like, obviously,
Really?
obviously not.
Sure.
And I mean, I'd be happy to share, what I have of his notes. He had recently been in. He'd recently been in London and in Shanghai. He was coming back. He'd just gotten back from on the boat, and he had all sort of news about the Carlisle expedition. But he, so he sent me some notes, and I'm gonna be frank. Some of it is, some of it's unhinged.
Well,
May I see it?
Yeah, could
well,
we stop by your office tomorrow, maybe?
Considering his book that he wrote, some of the stuff was toned down compared to what it really was. So,
Well, I got a
read
lot
it,
of
but I
notes
believe
from
it.
Jackson, and I think that the final notes I received spoke to a level that he had never been at in terms of that, and that's what concerns me.
surprising.
I'm intrigued.
That's
so?
very surprising.
I wonder what.
I mean, was it more like paranoia surprises you? Did he name anyone? Was he feeling threatened or followed? I mean, we're here at his funeral, and you're concerned about the last notes that he had sent. I mean, what's your feeling on this?
So I hadn't really gotten a chance to connect with Jackson before.
Yes.
He'd sent me some notes, and we were actually going to meet next week. After his last note, I was concerned about him. I didn't think he was going to die or that somebody was going to kill him. I thought that he was in a bad space. He was kind of raving a little, and that's what concerned me.
More than normal? I mean, he kind of would go off here and there,
Respectfully, ma'am, I'm going to disagree. His works, like when he wrote, very analytical. He
I can't argue with you on that point.
I mean,
but when he would talk about things, he would get really animated.
That's what made him a great writer.
Of course.
Was that
his passion.
he could instill that passion, but still have a journalistic detachment. That the voice came through in there, and that was what concerned me, was that in these last notes, I didn't see any of that.
Interesting.
And so, but of course, come by my office tomorrow.
Okay.
And we can, we can.
What time would you like us to come by? Should we bring tea?
Come
Early.
Yeah, come by before lunch, and we'll go to lunch. Let me
Sounds like
take you
fun.
ladies to lunch.
That would be delightful. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
A late arrival at the funeral is Captain Robson. He comes in. He's wearing a black suit, and he nods and smiles at you. And
I'm suddenly itching for a dagger.
Yeah.
he goes over and he's talking to Ramsey. And you clearly hear Ramsey in a very polite but flustered voice asking for access to Mr. As the executor of the will, he wants access to Mr. Elias's possessions. And Robson is Robson's like, they're part of an active crime scene. I'm very sorry, but I can't allow that right now. And then he and Robson is asking to see Elias's will, and Ramsey is using the, he's like making the counter of like, I want the possessions. He's lawyering it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I was going to say, does he look like he's having a problem with him?
He's flustered.
Okay.
But he's not like, it seems like they're at an impasse. Neither one of them is going to get what they want. And
Okay.
it's sort of like, and Robson is totally calm and sort of mocking. He's got like he's got a smile on his face the whole time. And he's sort of like, he's doing a very chummy sort of like, putting his arm around Ramsey and that sort of thing and being all buddy-buddy. And very subtly, like, making it clear that he's like, I'm in your physical space and all that stuff, being the slimy guy that he is.
yeah.
So I just want to, I want to continue to listen because, if Ramsey's having a hard time, I want to get behind him and back,
Right.
intervene.
Okay, yeah. You,
as far as that struggle, who's going to win?
You feel like Ramsey is going to, it's going to end up an impasse.
Okay, which is a good solution.
Yeah, it's fine. And so after about 10 minutes of that, Ramsey like gets a little too much volume at one point and just goes, "That's not how it works."
We'll sort of turn and look.
Yeah, the whole room, there's like 7.
All of us.
The room gets quiet, and Robson goes, "So sorry to interrupt this solemn occasion," and he walks out.
I just watch him as I spear another bite of cheesecake and eat it. Just like,
Can I?
Oh, actually, as he walks by you, he goes, "Ladies, I hope that the palace is a lovely hotel for you," and he walks out.
Thank you.
Thank you for your watchful eyes.
and as soon as
I nod.
he's gone, we're moving.
I was like, why do we have a backup hotel already?
I'm already on.
We need 3 backup hotels at this point.
So can
Actually,
I
I'm
sidle
thinking that we shouldn't be in New York anymore.
up? Can I sidle up to Ramsey
I think we might
and
need
see
to
if I
for a
can
little bit.
expedite our meeting instead of 2 days,
Today.
Tomorrow.
this evening? Yeah.
Now.
Is that too soon?
So
I just-
based on what just happened,
yeah.
he's okay with that.
Okay,
He says,
good.
All right,
"Please,
sweet.
come by my office this evening."
Yes.
He gives you the address.
Okay.
It's in Harlem.
Okay.
Of course it is.
How far away from the Juju house?
Juju House? Never heard of it.
It's interesting.
Well, Harlem is not, Harlem's not
It's not that.
it's big. Harlem is big. I have a map of it somewhere here, but Harlem is, many blocks in both width and length. So, it is, it's not, and the Juju House is a tiny little place in an alley. It's literally in an alley, So
Literally a hole in the wall.
Unless it is the stuff you're interested in,
Probably wouldn't
Walk past
notice
it.
there.
Yeah, nobody's walking by it going, "Oh yeah, that place."
I had good spices.
They did. Okay, so I think I'm going to challenge. Let's see if Thomas is paying attention.
Nope. Nobody knows. Thomas, we killed the monkey bird pig. It's fine.
But I think
Dead.
we're gonna go to break because it's 8:00, and we'll be back in a few minutes. We're gonna come back with the reading of the will.
Cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not a downer.
Not a bit.
It'll be fine. No crying. Promise.
I wanted
Promise?
to.
I just want stuff.
I wanted Thomas to read the letters, but sadly,
Oh, too bad.
final voiceover. Because one of them is anyway. All right, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks, everybody.
Are we?
Welcome back.
Right here.
We're right here.
We had some break time inspiration in the form of Oreos.
Yep.
So we
I
are,
might be stuck in my teeth right now.
Same.
we are
got
we are
the tea.
fueled up and ready to go because there's nothing you need an energy burst for more than the reading of a will.
So you don't fall asleep in the middle of
That's right.
all of the
right.
therefores.
Just give me stuff.
I have a feeling that this stuff is going to be pseudo-cursed.
I'm fine with that. I can feel it.
Nothing good's going to come of it.
It's like, is this cursed? Give me.
And it may involve rolling a new character.
So you that night you go to Carlton Ramsey's office. It's way it's on 124th Street. It's a good ways down.
Can I don't know, try and spot hidden, am I being followed? That's a spot
Yeah,
hidden,
sure.
right?
Yeah, you can make a spot hidden.
Run
roll.
a spot hidden?
Yeah.
I can't see that number.
75.
Son of a mother.
Everything seems fine. You know,
I
you're in a
didn't-
cab.
but
There are
that's
lots
only-
of.
Okay, yeah, that's only by 10 that I missed it. Okay.
Only you'd made it. You could spend luck.
Nope.
Yeah,
Inspiration.
Make an inspiration.
We have many.
We have plenty.
Yeah, let me ruin some dice again.
Sorry, throw a
Come
little
on,
filter
be,
there.
be kind to Emma.
Ooh, I just made it by 1.
Yeah.
Not pulling him up.
totally.
Darn it.
Yes.
It's been a while since
I
I've
know,
been able
since
to make a mark.
That's because I've eased up on that inspiration use.
Okay, yeah, you do not feel like you don't see any police cars or any cars. I
Okay.
mean, so the 20s weren't quite New York now, but it's still like traffic is terrible.
Yeah.
And
And cars are slow.
yeah, well, cars are slow, and every car looks like it's following you because they're all going slow to the same place you're going.
Yeah.
Less so up in Harlem. So you think once you got above like 100th Street, you'd be able to start figuring stuff out. But
Okay.
it seems like nobody's following you. So you get to the office, and it's a very small office. It's the law office of Carlton Ramsey. There's like 2 rooms basically. There's a front receptionist room where no one is, and then Carlton Ramsey's office. His door is open, and when you come in, a little bell rings, and he says, "Oh yeah." He comes out and he
Ding ding, ding ding.
and he welcomes you. He pulls out a bottle of bourbon.
I like the cut of your jib, sir.
A very
And
good
I
bottle
pull
of
out
bourbon.
my own personal shot glass.
It is prohibition, so this is
This is
finding
technically
finding
illegal.
alcohol is
Isn't it? Okay, not to get too technical, but in Prohibition, aren't you allowed per household like so many beers and so much wine still?
I think so. I think it's yeah. I think individual stuff.
I'd have to
but
ask my
there's
sister.
weird
She knows
rules
all
about
that
buying it and
stuff.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
But,
if
like-
you had it before, it was sort of
Yeah.
grandfathered in. But he gives everyone a drink, and he once again, you spend a little time talking about Jackson and sort of stuff he's done and that sort of thing.
Does he tell us anything interesting about the charitable works? Because I'm still kind of interested why he said that he was what I wrote this down somewhere.
He wants to see Jackson's work continue.
Yeah, he undid the wrongs, is what he had said at the funeral.
Yeah, and so he says, well, I mean, as you know from being with Jackson, he was very focused on groups that misguidedly felt that violence was a religion. And he worked to debunk and to discredit those organizations. I mean, I use organizations as a very loose term, I think. But he, he was very focused on that. That was his mission in life. And I think, as you'll see from the will, if you don't mind, I'll just dive right in here. He pulls out the will. He explains that he has been given full power of attorney for Jackson Elias's estate, and he has full authority to liquidate his assets. And Mr. Elias has instructed me to liquidate those assets and use them to establish a fund. And that fund is to go to you only insofar as you will make use of these funds to continue his investigation of the Carlisle expedition.
There it is.
And so I will on a reimbursement status only. I will reimburse you for expenses, any reasonable expense to be used in this investigation. That could be accommodation, living costs, equipment purchases, legal bills, medical expenses.
Food and beverage.
Of course.
All the cheesecake.
And the gin we can handle.
I would just ask that you send me these receipts in a timely fashion. And I will also serve as a central point of contact. If you have materials that you need shipped somewhere, you can use my office, and I will make sure they get to you. Similarly, if you wish to engage subcontractors in whatever form that might be, I will take care of the disbursement, and I will act as the employer for legal purposes. Or if you feel that you need extra help, you can hire people, and I will take care of the disbursement. There is just one other thing, and as I mentioned, Mr. Elias did visit me a couple days ago to amend his will, and he left a note that he asked me to read. Greetings from beyond the grave. By now, I'm sure you've learned that what I left you is a whole heap of trouble. I understand if you just want to walk away from the whole thing. Hell, I'm dead now, and I'm still wishing I could have walked away from it. But I couldn't do that, and I don't think you're going to either. You've been there for me in the past when I needed you. It's too late to save me, but I hope I can count on you one last time. I've been traveling all over the world, pulling at threads. Believe me, I'm onto something big. Carlton and Jonah can give you some of the details. They've got some of my papers and some of the notes, but there's still so much to follow up on, so much that still needs to be done. And I'm counting on you to bring my killers to justice. If I just got mowed down by a trolley car, well, consider me embarrassed and you off the hook. But I suspect it'll be something else, and it's not going to be easy to follow it out to the end. You don't need to finish my book. None of you can write worth a damn. I'm sorry for all this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. Remember me, your friend, Jackson Elias. Mr. Elias wrote this in my office 3 days ago.
So he knew that whatever he was pulling on was going to end up with him dead.
Did he had to be suspicious of someone. I mean, was there someone that he was concerned about? Was there someone that he felt?
He made it clear that he believed his investigations had made him a target for some of these organizations that he had investigated.
Did he mention did he give any of the organizations a name?
He did not to me.
Okay.
But as his letter says, perhaps perhaps Jonah knows a little more and can shed light in that area.
So I have a quick question. In fact, I have two questions. When we talk about continuing the investigation and sending you the receipts, is that like, just a little technical here, is that like third class passage, first class, like where's that like total expense?
How
like,
much money did he give us?
Ding.
I see.
I just need to understand the level of steak, lobster, hamburger.
Well,
Tuna fish.
Yeah.
I would hope that you would be mindful stewards of the estate of Mr. Elias. It is a considerable estate. Liquidating his assets to date has led to, including royalties from his books and such, has led to a disbursement of around $50,000, which in the 1920s
Was
is
a significant amount of money.
not insignificant, given that like a day at a nice hotel is like $10.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to math that out later.
I'm not going to. I'm going to ask a website to do it for me.
But
The
again,
internet.
I do hope that you will be, mindful
No, I understand. I just need to know because, again, from what we understood, Jackson Elias was both in London and Shanghai. Obviously, he's one man. We are 4 individuals who, if we have to be conservative, we will. I just need to understand. This investigation could take months.
If you, I mean, do
years.
what you need to do.
Okay.
I will provide you with monthly accountings. If you, if the funds begin to become an issue, you will certainly know about it.
At
I
volume,
still,
I imagine.
I have not liquidated all of his assets, so there will be, there's some real estate and that sort of thing. And he seems to have collected a large amount of gold from Peru.
Nope.
Really?
That he's going to, that I'm in the process of selling.
Don't touch it.
Yeah.
I mean, use gloves. Don't put it around your face.
What sort of gold do you know?
It's artifacts like cups and bowls, and it's the stuff that you saw in that pile in the pyramid.
It was the.
It's not the
swag stuff.
Yeah, it's not
Swag.
the. It was not the.
As long as it wasn't the. As long as it wasn't
Yeah.
the.
No,
Close
no.
that. Make sure it's not a mask.
Yeah.
Don't put it on. Don't wear any of it.
No, the mask I think is with the museum, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
all that stuff is. But he
Yeah.
could have found another one.
I mean, it is masks.
Yeah.
I have a strange feeling to have put on the mask.
Yeah. I want to sip out of one of these cups. Also, I noticed the altercation with Robson.
Yes, Captain
mean,
Robson.
The captain,
Is he
yes.
been a continual thorn in your side, or is this just a recent development for you?
Well,
I mean, I couldn't help but overhearing. I'm sorry for
No,
eavesdropping,
I
but the room
appreciate
was
that.
somewhat small.
Captain Robson has not been particularly helpful in my client's matters. I feel that more could have been done in the investigation, and I think that Mr. Adams is an unfortunate scapegoat in this regard, especially considering he was in prison at the time that the murder occurred. But Captain Robson is a creature I understand. He's a base, greedy man, and that's easy to deal with.
I'm concerned that he's potentially dangerous.
The police force.
I believe that he's dangerous in that he's a man that has power.
And it's scarier when they lose power. Those types of men become violent.
Yes, but I also think that he is. I don't believe that Captain Robson killed Jackson Elias. I believe that he's covering up.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he knows
It's
who.
entirely possible that he knows who. And
It isn't. I think it's
Yes.
very possible that he works for whoever did this. And Mr. Adams was, as I said, just an easy scapegoat.
To be forthcoming, and again, I understand that you're now considered our attorney. Ish.
Well, there's
Ish.
there hasn't been paperwork to that
Okay.
effect, but we can. I would certainly remain on retainer to the
Understood.
extent that you need it.
So, with that being
For a
said, this
reasonable
conversation, I would like to just express the fact that I'm concerned about also your safety. Robson, I don't know how much Jackson Elias has told you, but we've come under considerable threat from other individuals in Peru, and Robson essentially said the same thing. And I just, with that altercation, it just concerned me that your safety, and I understand that you're an extremely capable attorney that can negotiate his way out of some of these situations with the police, but that doesn't mean that it's not above Robson to look the other way based on our investigation, and I'm concerned for your safety.
Well, that is very kind of you, and I note that you are also 4 very capable women. I have no doubt that there are several firearms in my office as we speak, and
we all just sort of smile.
Everybody just
my
takes
hand
one
in my
step
lap.
backwards.
You know Jackson Elias's friends very well.
well, I've heard he mentioned what was it he called you? Team Dane.
The Great Dane.
The Great
Dane
Dane
Society.
Speaking of Team Dame, we have 500 bits and inspiration from hedonistic Nile. I don't know how to pronounce nihilistic. It's just Nile. That's a But he's and Hedonist Nile says that they're Team Dane.
All right.
I didn't know
I'll
Dane
take-
Cook had fans watching. That's exciting.
I actually, one of my best friends back in Fairbanks is named Dane, so it's hilarious to me every time we say that.
There you go. Denmark thanks you.
And I'm from Denmark, my family.
There we go.
Very
It's all connected.
Beautiful mind.
We need to get one of those and start hanging this stuff up.
That'll be our mascot.
We should do it.
And just string between like it's hung upside down. Just people's faces.
Red string. It has to be red string.
If you want a fun Google deep dive, is just Googling people that have played this game, and like some people do that. Like people who have like a dedicated game space, they have like a bulletin board. And it's
They're like,
just
we've been here.
yeah, like Carlisle.
And the pins.
You've got the mind map going out. It's a whole thing. Like I said, Robson. I understand his threats, and I understand he travels in a world that I understand. The people who killed Jackson Elias, that's a world that I don't understand, and that's a world that I don't want to get involved in.
That's probably very wise.
I can work in ways to hopefully ameliorate some of Captain Robson's baser instincts. I'll do what I can, but I can't promise that if you do find yourself with any trouble with the police, please call me immediately, and he'll give you a phone number. That is my home, and you can call me, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay. May I have the letter, please?
Of course.
Okay.
Stop beating yourself up there.
Does anybody want to see this?
Yeah.
And then, like, once we're done passing it around, I'm going to light a match and just signal to you guys, like, do you agree or disagree?
Absolutely.
So once we're done reading it,
All right, you
light that
destroy it.
mother on
Okay.
fire.
Nice.
I don't trust Robson. He's
No,
so
I don't
creepy.
either.
Yeah.
And especially now, since they got orders directly from the captain to come and lean on us, and one of them turned out to be
A shark parrot.
weird. Let's go with weird in front of the normies.
In front of the door. Oh, I agree. I'm down for this.
Okay, we just burned
All right,
it.
it
We
is
burned
destroyed.
it. It
Light
is
that thing on
officially- yeah.
fire.
The last writing of Jackson. Well, yeah, this is the last writing of Jackson Elias.
And I
We have all
spill a little of my
Of your
what do we
bourbon?
drink? Yeah,
Bourbon? he would appreciate that.
as it goes up in flames. Or
The smell of cilantro.
Blech. Soap.
All right, so it's in the evening, and you guys are gonna head home, I guess. Head to find a new hotel.
I feel like having a drink. I'm
Before-
concerned.
We need to have a chat, all
Yeah.
four of us, I think. And I'm assuming that we'll have to sign paperwork, yes? Ram?
Yeah, I do want to put you on retainer. Just
Of course, I'll excuse me. I'll put together some paperwork, and
Okay, wow.
if you ladies will excuse me. So you're in like his front office.
Okay.
He takes off on a motorcycle.
I'll be back.
The sound effects are just.
So we gather up.
So, this is a lot, don't you think?
He wants us to go and chase down an expedition that was murdered in where? Africa? I've been keeping light tabs on all of that because it looked weird.
So he's been in Shanghai, London, Africa, Peru.
Well, not Africa, not yet.
Not
That was
yet.
the
Jackson,
Carlisle
yeah,
expedition.
as far as you know, Jackson hasn't been to.
But he was talking about going there.
It's interesting that he hasn't been to the site yet because the newspapers indicated that a location was found.
Well, I mean, you don't know that.
Okay,
Like
as
all
far
he
as we
said
know.
is and the other thing, you remember that the Carlisle expedition also went to Egypt. So
Yeah.
Egypt was also
Yeah, because that was their original to find Solomon's mine or whatever.
Sure.
Wow. Jay
What?
Matthews just gifted 5 subscriptions.
What?
That's amazing.
Oh my God.
I didn't even. Is he like giving him a charity? What is it like?
No. Basically, the idea behind it is that he pays for him for the subscriptions, and then just he either selects or
gives them-
or it selects randomly 5 people who
My
aren't yet
username
subscribed.
is Ezra Denney.
Thank you so much.
Jay Matthews.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
That's
Thank you so
crazy.
Yes. I love your brother, Jay Giles.
all these jokes, Sai has no idea. She's just like, who?
I'm just all right. I'm just
It's
going to
like
look
we're
at my
married.
notes.
What was the other one that I was like, Sai doesn't get this either.
Nope.
Anything I
We'll
say.
talk later.
I'm too young for this.
Don't worry, honey. We'll tell you.
I'm too young for this.
Don't worry, honey. We'll tell you when you're
Oh my
older.
God, is that like the reverse of Lethal Weapon? I'm too young for that.
I'm too young for this.
You know, you never want to have the talk with your children about the J. Giles band. It's just not a,
It's not pretty.
never comfortable.
Someone tell me, man.
Why isn't there a book?
Anyway.
Okay, where were we? Oh, we were gonna go get a drink and connect the red strings together.
Yes.
There's some plans. That's what
Well,
we're gonna do.
if we're going to leave, we need to wait for him to come out with
Yeah, get our
paperwork.
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 Yeah.
Okay, paperwork has been hand
Yep.
waved.
And he will give you each like 100. He'll give you each 10 credit rating in sort of per diem.
Yes, please.
Sweet. Nice.
I'm almost,
I feel rich.
I know. I'm almost an average person.
Drinks not on Emma tonight.
Yep.
They can be on me though if you want. You know, now at a 75.
Yeah, I'm at
Jeez.
I'm at 65.
I'm at 50.
Yeah.
I'm not poor anymore entirely.
All right, we've reached the part of my notes that I don't know what's going to happen. So
Because you were
Oh, wait, can I
silly
read
and
those?
turned
Let
the
me
sign
see.
upside
I
down.
can't read them.
That's what I'm saying. Let me just try and read them once. Hold on.
We can probably read
Yeah, I bet you. Hold on. So this is what it says. It says Quest and Chaos Episode 8, Parrot Fight after Officer McGillicuddy survives. Funeral of Jackson Elias, maybe Raspberry Shoshone.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
Then meet Jonah.
And then it says meet Carlton Ramsey, invite to will reading. What do we think? Expedite Legos.
Tea.
Yeah, tea. We're having tea with the Legos.
With the Legos.
Your.
That looks
I
like
know.
Husk.
Really? I think it says Natalie.
Okay. Husk Natalie.
See those. The funeral. Honestly, most of it's over.
Yeah.
Most of it's over the funeral stuff. It's meet Rebecca, meet Jonah, meet Carlton,
below
invite
that-
to will
Below
reading.
that, it's
below
Husk
that.
Natalie.
Yeah. Who's this
That's
person?
Natalie.
Are we going for tea?
Well, I've got my next scene.
Does this say
You're trying to read what's on the other page.
Yeah.
Because
You
it's
want
not went
Husk
through.
Natalie.
Keep killing it.
Just
Just be
killing
as
it.
semi-honest as possible.
I mean, be honest, just not all honest.
So yeah, you find a nondescript bar where you will not
Yep.
stand out.
Yep.
And
During Prohibition, we want to go to some place that's
speakeasy,
yes,
yeah.
for sure, so that all secrets are kept.
Yeah.
yep, you
We find a dark corner.
yes, you most of you know a speakeasy, and so you've got a cool place you can go to.
I light up a cigarette.
I light up a cigarette.
There we go.
Whoa, when did this happen? It's like, when did we all start smoking?
My voice is already completely destroyed. I don't think I can do much
In the
worse to it at this
1700s, I
point.
I'd say you guys probably notice that my hand's shaking as I'm smoking. I'm still disturbed even though we've gone through this whole time and we've had drinks.
All right, so I pull out a notebook. Let's do
We've
this.
reached that phase.
Yep.
All right, so let's
So now we're doing the clue dump.
Yeah, I think-
Kinda.
So let's sort of go over
right.
the stuff that you've got. You've got the Carlisle expedition. And I'd say the big bullet points there are that Roger Carlyle was a New York playboy who put together this expedition. I think, are they? Oh, no, it's not on this. There's a picture of them somewhere, but put together this expedition that had a number of members, and according to the newspaper, you actually got the members. They are.
Yeah, there was a lady. There's a fancy lady.
There was a yes. That's what she's called.
Yes, fancy lady.
So it was
Probably named Natalie.
Roger Carlyle.
That's where Natalie comes into play.
That's right, definitely.
There was Dr. Robert Houston. There was Sir Aubrey Penhew. There was Hypatia
That's it.
Masters. And there was Jack Brass Brady. Brass was his nickname. But it's
American?
always written there. He was, he's very American.
What was his name?
Brass Brady.
Brady.
Brass Brady. And then who was
Jack Brass.
Houston
Robert Houston.
Roberts?
And
What was Hypatia?
Aubrey.
Hypatia
Masters.
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 And
And
The
those
car-
were the five main people. And
those
I'm
were the
assuming
five main
those
people.
Were,
And they left for London, and they spent some time in London, and then they went to Egypt. And in Egypt, they did some excavations, and then they went to Kenya on safari to sort of enjoy themselves.
Like you do.
And there they were massacred. And when they were massacred, Mr. Carlyle's sister, Erica Carlyle, who is now she now runs the vast Carlyle fortune. She went over to Africa to try and collect the body and take care of things and that sort. And she then returned to the U.S. So,
and she's in New York, right?
She is in New York,
that's where
yes,
that
yes.
card says they're
Yes.
someplace.
Yeah, yeah. Erica Carlyle is local, and so you sort of you've got the locations the Carlyle expedition went to. You've got the people in the Carlyle expedition that you could do some research on, and soon you'll have more information about that. So that's the Carlyle expedition. Then you have the other clues you got from Jackson Elias, the boat in
Shanghai.
In Shanghai. Everybody make me a spot hidden roll.
Critical success.
Nope.
Made it by
Ruin
4.
more dice.
Critical success.
Yep.
Didn't fumble it, but
Let's
nope.
get the good one out for this.
Didn't
Look
Sai
at-
make something,
ooh.
and that's how she recognized the building?
Well,
or
yeah, she
something?
knows it's
Yeah.
in Shanghai.
Yeah.
Wow, so you just everything with this photo.
Hey.
Look at the English boat in the background. There's something about it that grabs you.
Are those things human?
Well, I'm sure they're deckhands.
Look at that.
It looks like
Because that's like human,
Yep.
human, weird blob.
well, that could be I don't know what.
Thanks, Emma.
Is that your professional opinion?
Yes, it could be something. Well, what's weird too is that isn't this a smokestack coming out of a ship that looks like an old whaling ship or something, or like
It's
why
a
would you-
steamship, clearly.
Okay.
But that's a river, so it's probably a river boat.
Okay.
You get there's a partial name of the boat.
Oh. DAR.
Really? Holy shit! You can read that?
Yeah. 2020.
Wow.
Hey.
Hard success. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a partial name of the boat. That doesn't mean anything right now, but it's something you clearly notice about the boat.
Can I see it?
Yeah. I think it's actually a little easier to see on the one that came with the game. The name, but once you sort of know it's there.
Yeah. It's
Oh yeah, no,
Okay.
it jumps out at you once
Yeah.
you know it's there.
Yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay.
I was looking at the Shanghai Tigers.
Oh yeah. I drew that.
Yeah, so that is.
We need jackets that say that.
So that's the other clue. You have a club of some sort.
I don't know
in
if I want to go there. It says
Shanghai.
Shanghai Fun and Friends. That's kind of a lame logo.
I want to go there now.
It's mini golf.
Yeah, okay.
You also have.
The name Dario came to mind when I read that. I don't know why.
You also have the symbol that was carved on Jackson Elias's forehead, which some people have recognized and others haven't.
I also drew that.
You have the letter from Harvard.
Yeah.
About stuff that he was looking for.
A book.
So when you go home tonight, there'll be a telegram waiting for you that will tell you that.
Me or
Well,
Octavia.
probably you because you're not going home.
No, but it wasn't Octavia sent it because
Oh
she
yeah,
was
you
the
sent
educator.
it. Right, right.
Yeah.
So you get a call. Your husband tells you that you got a telegram, and the telegram says that Elias was looking for a book called Africa's Dark Sects. And that book had disappeared from the library. And actually, in the telegram, it says, mysteriously disappeared.
And while we're sitting at the bar, I also talk about. So I wrote these notes about the Bloody Tongue, based in Kenya,
Yep.
and that they blamed the Nandi tribe. that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who the press blamed.
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to blame a cult.
Right.
And then the Penyu Foundation, which a little bit of research will tell you that let's see, the Penyu Foundation is it's a foundation dedicated to it gives grants to scholars who are undertaking the study of Egyptian history and antiquities.
Have I heard of this before? I mean, is this a grant that I probably would have recommended to some of my students or something like that?
You've heard of it before.
Okay. Would I know who runs that?
You know that because of the card. It's Edward Gavigan.
Okay, Edward Gavigan.
You also know that Aubrey Penhew, who that's the name of the foundation. He was part of the Carlisle expedition.
Mm-hmm. I also have written down they were after biblical treasures, and they narrowed down the area to the Great Valley northwest of Nairobi.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when they left Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that is most of sort of the stuff you have right now. You also, I mean, you have whatever's going on you don't really know what's going on in the Juju house. Something's going on there. It's clearly an epicenter of some sort of activity, but you don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is most of your loose ends. But I think it's a good practice to, every couple sessions to go like, all right,
Didn't download
what's
together.
out there? Remind yourself, While you guys are there, if there's anything else you want to...
Well, I think we should love a good list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we have to meet with Jonah Kensington. We
Yes.
have that on our calendar.
Mm-hmm.
We could,
On our ever so busy social calendar.
Yep, exactly. It's a huge day tomorrow. Huge day. We could make an appointment to see Rebecca Shoshonenberg. I'm okay with that, not okay with that. I mean, I feel like, because when we spoke to her, she said that he wanted to go to London and Shanghai, and then when we met with Carlisle, nope, not Carlton. Sorry, I have to think Fresh Prince here. Carlton.
Do the Carlton.
Yep. He was in London and Shanghai, so she might have some insight, but I also feel like her information might be
Well, it
predated.
It might be a bit dated, or maybe he needed to go back because of
Could be.
whatever he found.
Make me a psychology roll.
Me? Here, I fail. I can tell you this immediately. Don't even roll. Oh, wait, hold on. 28? Nope.
All right. So what you do remember is that at the funeral, she said stuff. Everything she said about Jackson Elias was sort of in the past.
Yeah.
She was a little more focused on Hilton Adams. And
Okay.
and that
Yeah, because that would be her story is freeing a
right.
yeah,
Freeing an innocent man.
which I think is a just cause. Finding Jackson Elias's killer and freeing a.
Here's the big problem, though. If Jackson Elias's killer turns out to be another of those
Parrots?
things,
I think yeah. And those parrots, I'm pretty sure, aren't just working on their own.
well, that's a concern, certainly.
Those parrots aren't working on their own.
I thought you said they were. I was like, really? That's interesting. That's a great theory. How's that working? The parrots are in charge.
That'd be ironic.
That'd be hilarious.
They're just patsy parrots.
Yeah,
Patsy
no,
parrots.
That's I mean,
Speaking of, and the good thing is when you've got patsy parrot problems, we just got rated by the Legends of Avantaris.
Hi, guys. Welcome.
I mean, are they all legends?
Yes, absolutely.
Like how all of us are like, yeah. When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Like 3 of them are like, we're legends. One guy's like,
I mean, they're not legends. I'm a legend.
Legendary items, legendary people, legendary things. There's lots of legends.
Legends of Avantaris, if you're just joining us, we've learned that the parrots aren't working alone.
We're doing a clue dump. Come along.
They're patsy parrots.
Yes.
Say that 5 times fast.
That's great. No, but that's a great question. Who is controlling the parrots?
Right.
Why does it seem like
is
we
a
have...
great
Should we just make a code word for this?
That is the title of next week's episode. And not who's controlling these parrots.
Oh.
And it shouldn't be cheesecake, but
No, that's our safe word.
that's our safe word. Exactly. Like I said, it can't be that.
Right.
But we need to figure out why we have targets painted on our backs.
Well, because we're friends with Jackson Elias.
It's all Jackson's fault.
Who
Bob
else
Smith's
knows
fault.
that? But who else knows that? We were nobodies before.
We were.
You were at the scene of his death.
Well, they were at the scene of his death. That being said, you said that this creature was also in Peru, and while I was indisposed, you had a visitor, and you said that same person was here.
Yeah.
He was seen at the scene.
He got shot
was
down 14
Being
stories.
shot at as he jumped out the
The
window.
last you saw him, he crumpled into a car and was being pulled. He crumpled.
And so he wasn't working alone. And
Well, he wasn't working alone, and whatever Jackson has stuck his foot into this time clearly drew some attention.
and we know that the cops are involved. That they've been there. They were being paid by somebody at the Juju house, and that they went to track us down to find the information to figure out what was going on with Jackson Elias and put heat on us. Why though? Why does the captain want to put heat on us?
He thinks we know something.
What if the captain controls the parrots?
See, that's what I'm thinking. Or maybe not the captain, but somebody the captain works for controls the parrots.
Yeah, I don't think that it originates with the captain,
I don't
although
think
he
so either.
certainly seems smarmy enough to be the type.
Yeah, but not smart enough.
And it seems like the more twisted the person is, the more likely they are to be drawn into the darker aspect of this. The control part, the possession.
Sometimes. I mean, Larkin seemed fine until he wasn't.
Right, but he had that big tattoo on his stomach.
Sure, but he didn't come across as twisted until...
But I saw his eyes go black. He was possessed by something. In fact, that's what caused Jackson Elias to shoot him.
That I didn't see. I was indisposed. But I knew... I found out a few other things around that. The voice actress has made a terrible decision.
So when you have a moment of like in your head, there's this recollection, like you get a vision in your head when you were in the Juju house, when you met Silas and Kwane, after the little kerfluffle, when you were leaving, he used your name. You had not told him your name.
That's right.
Oh, interesting.
And then he drove off on a motorcycle.
It's a biker gang. It's a whole thing.
That's what it is.
Biker
Chased
parrot.
down by a biker gang.
Vroom,
With
vroom.
little parrots on their shoulders.
Pirate bikers.
Yes.
With Sharky.
And
sharks.
now we've come full circle.
Yep.
All of the shows have now had pirates.
Pirate shark parrots. You got it.
That should be the title of next episode. Pirate shark parrots.
Yes.
I don't pander to Bo, okay?
Don't pander to Bo. Pander to Amy.
That I'll pander to.
Yeah.
Kudos.
All right, so it's getting a little late,
The old man said my name when we were at the Juju house.
Did he?
There
Bob
was
Smith.
no way.
Just coming back to Bob Smith.
Bob Smith.
New
was-
arch enemy.
Was it the same?
Well, that actually makes
He should
sense.
be dead.
Yes.
who theoretically is dead.
He should be dead, but I don't think the way things
But someone
have
took
been going,
the
I don't-
body.
The way that things have been going, I don't trust that someone is
Yeah.
dead until I've taken their pulse, and even then...
Without
Just
a
rip
head.
their heart out.
Without a
there
head.
You go. That's how you
That's
get
the
Without a
answer.
head.
Yeah.
Without-
Sorry, not D&D. My bad.
And then our heroes ripped the heart out of him.
Kalima!
I mean, removing hearts is a very definite way to
Kill a
make
vampire.
sure, shall we say.
I have another drink
True,
to
and to
Jackson
do a lot of
Elias as
magic
I'm like,
with.
kill a vampire.
To Jackson Elias.
To killing vampires.
Hey.
To killing Karasiri?
Cilantro. It's like Peruvian garlic.
So instead of saying cilantro, which is the Gaelic, we say cilantro.
Yeah. There we go. Right. So I guess the real question that we have to ask is, are we going to keep pursuing this?
It seems mighty dangerous.
Dangerous is one word, certainly.
Well, I don't want to go to Florida.
I go like this.
I don't know about anybody else, but I don't like Florida that much.
No, but we'll tell everybody that's where we're going.
it's hot and it's muggy
And
and
weird.
it smells of alligators.
Lots of alligators. But we can tell everybody that's where we're going. I can book 4 flights out to Florida.
It would be a
Except
a
that it would
train
be
ride.
hard
Or
because
train
it's
ride,
1920. So that's right.
Sorry.
for
You could
book a
fly
train
there,
ride.
but
be
it
real
would-
expensive.
It would be expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, we could book train rides down there, and then everybody thinks that's where we're going, and then we can go wherever we want.
You could actually catch a ship from Florida
to London.
to. It would probably, ironically, it would probably go to New York, and then you'd get on. But if you wanted to,
Fudge it.
sort of.
So here's the
do
thing,
this.
though. I think that once we leave, here are
We're
my
gonna be
thoughts.
followed. Yeah.
Is that whoever is really behind brain not functioning, Robson, that's
Robson,
it.
yes.
I don't know if we're going to shake him. I'm assuming it's a him.
Probably a him.
Probably a him. That easy. Once we get out of New York, Robson is not a problem. There will be more Robsons, though.
Yes.
Is it Robson or Robeson?
Robson?
Robson. It's
Yeah.
Robson.
There will be more Robsons.
Yes, because if this is something that's big enough to reach to
Peru.
London and
Yeah.
Africa and Peru and New York, we have to assume there's fingers and eyes everywhere, which is why I'm asking, is this something that we're going to commit to? Because the last time that we tangled with something like this, I nearly died. You lot nearly died. It was...
I really don't. I thought I'd never see another one of those parrot chicken piranhas.
It just keeps changing.
It can now swim.
Chupacabras. Whatever. I mean, I'd never thought I'd see another one again. I don't. Surprised that. And this one's got blue blood,
I was...
and I was covered in it.
Yes, so was I. It was disgusting. It smelled funny.
Too viscous.
It didn't smell quite like blood.
Exactly.
A little bit, but not quite right.
Well, my whole life has been surrounded by the supernatural, so I'm in to do this. I'm curious about
We
going
should
to
channel
London,
the
though.
teeth.
Exactly. I'm thinking maybe we should figure out what these things are.
Because then you can all stay in my flat in London, and
Cool.
it makes life easier.
Then we'll have a hole in your house in London.
That's fine.
Third hole.
She's always wanted a pet.
Yeah, exactly.
I have accommodations in London as well.
Oh, that would be interesting. Pets. You can
I was
control
thinking chicken
spirits.
wings.
Yes. But what is this thing? Is this thing a spirit?
Is it it's a physical animal. I only control the non-physical.
I had a thought
And
though.
control-
You know what I mean? Like
and by control, I mean like
Control's a strong
ask
word.
them to do my bidding.
And then
very
they're like
strong
smack-
word.
But if there was a way, I mean, gosh, I don't know about you guys, but I feel outgunned by that thing. It doesn't
I-
even have guns.
I
it
just keep
has
thinking
wings.
chicken wings. Like how?
We don't have an oven that big.
Yeah.
That being said, we did hold our own with just the two of us. And
Barely.
yeah, that was not barely. That shot that you did was astonishing.
Well, I just figured head. Last
have the
time I
teeth to
shot
prove
it
it.
3 times. The last time I shot it 3 times in the gut, point blank, and it did hardly anything to it. So I
So
thought,
aim for the
well,
head
aim
next
for the
time.
head. Yeah.
Head seemed to be a fairly
effective.
reasonable target.
Okay. So back to the main question, because then if we choose to accept this mission, I have a list of questions. I have created a list.
All right, well then let's settle now if we are in this, because once we're in...
I light another cigarette.
Spoiler: if you're not in it, roll up a new character.
Sure, but this is something that the characters would actually want to consider.
That's true. Yeah.
Because the last time that I got involved with something like this, I lost a lot. And I guess I don't have that much more to lose at this point. But
If it's any comfort, death isn't the end of everything. I know.
no, I could be summoned into your ghost army.
That's also
Not a
true.
lot of comfort.
That's not a lot of comfort. I'm really going to have to clean up my act.
It's not that warm, fuzzy
Better start
feeling.
making it a little bit better.
You work for the Vatican. You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, aren't you a godly woman?
All I have
your
to do
Hail
is
Marys.
like ask for forgiveness. Everything's fine.
Say like what, 3 Hail Marys?
There it is. Done.
Your
Go to
confession
heaven.
sessions are getting more and more.
Weird. I may have to come and have a word with a priest at some point.
I do
I
want
didn't
to check
do it.
out the
I
Vatican
didn't
Secret Archive.
do it.
No, if we're going diving into this, we probably want something on our side too.
Yeah, exactly. We need
Yeah,
to,
that's
we
on the
need
list.
more-
I would like to meet the Pope, though.
Me too.
Like to meet the Pope.
Kiss the ring.
So
I
we're
might
gonna-
just like
Oh.
burn when I go into
Just
the
a side
Vatican.
quest. We're just gonna go.
On the way to Egypt, we're gonna stop in Rome.
It's a shorter flight. Boat ride.
At the
I
end,
think that's a train, wouldn't it be?
from Rome.
I think it's the Orient Express, unfortunately.
Yes, your old friend. It's under repairs after being blown up.
Yeah. Jackson Elias strikes again.
Blasted all Thomas.
Are they still rebuilding the rails?
they probably are. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, I have, let's say, particular skills, and generally I wouldn't get involved with something like this. But these bastards came into my house.
Yeah.
And-
Do you feel safe in New York, or?
If I stopped being involved, I think they would leave me alone, because the captain would look at that and go, she's living a normal life again.
I doubt that.
Me too. I doubt.
He's too scummy to do that.
Ding.
I think it's a 50-50 shot either way, and honestly, I would like to get a knife into one of those things again. I am awfully tired of people coming into my house.
Wings.
I want to get some sigils or something, or protection on my personage, because I feel
All right, which ones do you need? I got you.
really.
She knows the
I know the occult. Protection
Yeah.
symbols are my thing.
What you got?
So
What do you have?
Because that would be. So here's my list.
All right, let's hear.
Super
let's
drunk
hear the
now,
list.
so the list is gonna be okay.
Here's the thing. I pour her another drink.
Yeah.
Pass it over.
Who's controlling the parrots? Step one.
We need to come up with a better code name for them.
They're the team. They're our local baseball team. The parrots. That's our
New York
that's our
parrots.
Yeah, exactly.
the Harlem Parrot Trotters.
Yep.
Bingo.
I love it.
Ding, 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 ding. My next one was read the book.
Ah, exactly.
Which book?
Exactly. Exactly.
Are you talking about the Jackson Elias book
Yeah.
with the leather? And
Or we need to find an expert on tribes of blah 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 blah.
Indeed.
Nairobi?
Yeah, sure.
Cults in Africa.
Yeah.
It was, you know,
Unfortunately,
do I-
the main one
do
you
I-
know just died.
Yeah.
Do I know anybody at the university that specializes in specific?
Yeah. I mean, you know people who specialize in the anthropological side. The anthropological side does not take kindly to talk of cults and blood sacrifices
Well,
and that sort of
it's-
thing.
Ancient mythologies and
Yes.
whatever. We should also visit Erica Carlisle and find out what was the impetus for her brother's expedition. Like, what was that one key piece of evidence that said, let's do this?
Okay, I think I totally agree, but I really do think that if we go to her house, it will definitely tip off Captain Robson.
Yes.
Instantly. She's in New York.
She's-
And that'll be the
Well,
first
she's
thing.
in like Scarsdale, so she's in. She has like a
She's in
mansion.
Florida.
Sure, but I
In
mean,
the
it-
winter.
four women going up
exactly.
to a big mansion, pretty obvious.
She,
you know.
I mean, you would know her because you travel in these circles, and actually, you would know her.
Oh.
She is a socialite. She's very philanthropic. She spends a lot of money, gives a lot of money to charity. But she's also a very shrewd businesswoman.
Are there any shows or expeditions opening up or any
Parties
sort of...
we could get invited
Yes.
to.
Sure, you could get invited to a gala. Yeah.
All right.
You
have to
Now
borrow
that I
buy
think would be
tickets
better.
to the gala.
Is it to an opera gala? Because Alexandria has opinions on that subject.
No, most of the stuff that she does is like charity auctions and
Okay.
things like that.
The sort of thing that I would have gone to as a fellow guest.
Right.
I
So
need
we
to
could-
borrow a dress.
So
I
that's
have
fine.
a few of those.
We can go.
We're about the same size, I think.
We can totally get you gussied up, but
Yes, in fact,
if
we're
we-
exactly the same size.
If we go to one of
It's weird.
these galas and talk to her, it'll be more, on the down low.
Yes.
I mean, because we're going to be followed too until we leave. He really wants us to leave.
He wants us to go off
So-
to the land of muggy mosquitoes.
That's right.
Bob Smith, enemy number one. If he's still alive, which is highly possible, channeling Jackson Elias, could be a zombie or a parrot. Another theory.
We should do
Another
parrot.
theory. Seriously.
You're starting to get worried about it.
I'm getting super drunk now,
Let's
and
get a
I'm now. No. I'm challenging you right now.
all right.
Super drunk.
right.
You need to tell me. Was that? What's his name again? Bob Smith. Why do I forget his name? Oh my God. Was that Bob Smith's eyes in that parrot?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
So Bob Smith is the parrot.
Oh my God. We need to kill that parrot immediately
That's what I'm saying.
and eat its wings.
I look at the alcohol and
I gotta look at you like, eat its wings. That's a bit much.
I promise you, it's gonna be a big hit if we like put it in a fryer.
I'm a vegetarian.
Do you know Mr. Kentucky?
Yes, I know, Mr. Kentucky.
I was at a party the other day.
Kentucky.
He was talking about this
He
crazy
makes-
business
He
idea.
makes
You mean Colonel Sanders?
Colonel Sanders.
Mr. Kentucky. Is that a superhero? I'm Mr. Kentucky, y'all.
Does he wear tights?
Of course he wears tights.
He drinks bourbon.
We're drinking.
I'm the protector of Knoxville.
I just remembered it's Mr. Kentucky.
I like just look at the alcohol and go, how much have you guys
And I'm like,
had? Oi!
Mr. Kentucky.
yep, he wears tights. Red tights.
Red tights with stripes.
Red and white
Yep.
stripes.
It looks
then
like a
candy
straightened out candy cane.
He's the Santa Claus.
There's this
Awesome
other guy
boy.
that I know who loves popcorn. Who knew? Would have known.
No, and then I
Anyways.
totally agree
Anyway.
that we need to go see. You know what? I should write to Oliveri and find out like how do you channel a demon? How do you protect
Well,
from
speaking
demons?
of that,
She pulls out some teeth in the bar.
No.
Yeah.
Put that on.
yes,
Let's go back to my house.
Is there
And channel a
like,
demon there? Sounds like a great idea.
that's
Sure,
not the best idea.
Yeah, but we could put a circle up in the backyard or something.
It's a
circle
demon,
in the backyard.
not a ghost.
Wait until you see my backyard.
Is your backyard a forest?
It's not small.
Oh,
I love where you're like, oh, sounds reasonable.
all right, let's go.
It's not a forest, but it's not small.
I don't want
have
to.
you missed the fact that Octavia's rich?
I'm married to a doctor. I am.
She's got a 75 credit rating. Ridiculous. I know.
10 more than me. Let's do it.
Go.
No, but like.
Wait,
how
but
do
is your house even safe? Because we're all being tailed, and you know.
What's wrong with the four of us going back to my house? There's
Nothing, actually.
Nothing wrong with that at all. My husband might not like it. Oh wait, he might be out of. I don't know if he's out of town.
Would your husband be okay with us summoning a demon?
I don't want to summon a demon.
No,
That's a
no,
sentence.
what day of the week is it?
Probably Tuesday only at this point.
Question.
So it's still the 17th.
Yeah.
So the 17th, depending on what day.
So
of
whatever
the week
day
it
of the
is.
week that was.
Damn it, let me see. Because that actually
That's kind of important.
does matter. Let me see here.
We have a meeting with Jonah.
If there is anything that Chaos Agents has taught me, it's be aware of what day it is.
So, like, maybe we should do the meeting with Jonah first and then summon the demon?
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like an afternoon.
And summon the demon.
my god.
You know, in the afternoon or something.
And then maybe stopping at groceries.
Yeah.
And
Get some cheesecake.
Well,
go to a ball later.
Is it too late to pull out of this? It might be.
Yes.
No, because I want to know, like, I want to try and put the. Okay, never mind.
No. Let's
No, I
finish
mean,
that
how
thought.
do you. So if Chicken Wings here is coming after us.
But we don't know if Chicken Wings is a demon.
Today is Friday.
Perfect. So,
Friday.
So we have all weekend to summon demons.
my
It's
husband
fine.
likes to go golfing on the weekends, and he plays cards on Sunday. So he'll be gone all weekend. So we should be able to have plenty of time to do.
Sounds lovely. You get rid of him for the weekend.
So, like, if Chicken Wings comes at us,
Yes.
how do we put Chicken Wings back in its hole?
If he's a demon, that's possible. But if he's not, and he's just some creature, then it's not going to do anything.
Stab it multiple times.
That's also an option.
Shoot it.
Maybe sharpen the crucifix and then stab him. That might work.
I have a whetstone in my carpet bag.
Of course.
I think we've come up with the code name Chicken Wings.
Do
Kill
I
those chicken wings.
know anybody in
As
my,
I said, I have
my
particular
repertoire of
skills.
people that might know anything about strange demons or
I do.
anything
Or
like
like,
than her.
so is Chicken Wings a demon? Did I come across
Make
him
a cult
in?
roll.
Because it poofed. Chicken Wings poofed.
It boofed.
Critical success.
Nice!
So,
Wait a minute. What was that number that you're like?
39 out of 79.
she knows the occult.
Wow.
Easy, crazy. Are you a demon?
Maybe. Look into my eye.
Yes, mister.
So there's
Oh, that got kinky all of a sudden.
I'm down for that.
I'm sorry. I've been trying to be good.
PG-13.
That's right on the level, damn it.
So, I mean, by like in a cult sort of parlance, it could be a demon. But I mean, demon means so many different things. You know, demon is a catch-all among various societies
Right.
or cultures for things they don't understand.
Right.
And you're starting to learn that there are things that we don't understand, that this is how we try and understand them. Mm-hmm. And so you think it's one of those things that you just don't understand. Mm-hmm. And maybe some of the stuff that you know about demon avoidance and that sort of thing might be useful, because hopefully some of it is, grounded in things that worked centuries ago.
Right.
But maybe it isn't. Maybe it's, it's like, the analogy I would give you is you're trying to avoid the bubonic plague by knowing the nursery rhyme Ring Around the Rosie.
Oh boy.
You know sort of the folklore around these things, but you don't even know what this thing is really.
Right.
And
Can
that
I
was-
do-
Yeah, and that was kind of my question, because my knowledge of what demons are only ethereal items that are items, they can be purchased.
The
at any time.
non-physical ones,
Yeah,
right.
that possess a human. But
Right.
this is completely out of my realm.
I do have the blood, so like samples of the blood and the teeth. Can
Yeah.
I do some kind of seance to understand what this creature is, if it's of this realm or another realm?
You don't
Back
want to
in
do that in
some
the
holy
bar.
water.
probably.
Please,
Yeah,
no.
probably not in the bar.
Come back
No,
to my
let's go to
place.
her woods. That's a great
I love that.
best place ever. At night.
Her cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
So you go
But
back.
we're all going to die.
This is an estate. She has an estate. It is a
Oh, we're
very,
doing this right now?
a very nice house.
Okay, it's midnight. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Best
The
time
witching
ever.
Better to do a seance.
Best time ever.
The witching hour. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
So
Wonder what cycle of the moon that was. On that day.
actually,
Ooh, I can Google
I
that.
can tell you because that may or may not become germane.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned something about that.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna swing by a church and get some holy water before any of this goes
Thank
down.
you.
The
Actually, we
moon-
might need some.
The moon's about. Today's the 17th. The moon's about a week away from being new. So the moon.
Okay, so,
so
it's
that's
it's
waning.
So the
it's
best-
waning. Give
yeah.
us.
So the best time to do demon summonings would be the dark moon, the day before a new moon. Mm-hmm. So in a couple days, probably.
Okay.
Sunday. Card party, demon summoning.
Yes, around Sunday or Monday, if I'm
Well,
correct.
so
right?
the moon's going to be new on the 24th.
So
So
the
like the
23rd.
23rd or 22nd would be.
Yeah. That time span would be the
don't
best.
think we
That's
have
Wednesday.
That. I don't think we have that much time to wait.
But you
honest.
could. So you could just try. I mean, you don't think a seance will not summon this thing, probably.
Yeah. No, it won't. It won't.
Because
You're just trying to figure out what it is.
But kind of the realm between, or the veil between the realms lessons during the dark and new moon and the full moon. Mm-hmm. So those are the times that are the best.
Yeah, their power will be its weakest at that point.
Essentially. So I can
Really?
Absolutely.
Good to know.
So like the full moon, haven't you noticed the crazies tend to come out during full moon?
Yeah.
I used to work at a hospital. Full moon was the worst day. Always.
absolutely.
Always. And at the
in
bar that I
people's
worked at.
minds.
It's not. Haven't you seen low tide and high tide? It's actually scientific fact that the moon affects us.
Yeah, because we're like 70%
and our
water.
minds. Yeah.
And night. And night.
So that's why my feet are bloated at like low
Yes,
tide.
exactly.
My head is like
Don't you get a little crazier on the full moon?
I just can't get into my boots in the full moon.
So what you're saying is essentially we are anxious bags of water.
Yes,
That's
They just
cruel.
float around.
exactly.
Hoping that a parrot bursts out.
But in a lot of cultures, like you were saying, the phase of the moon actually does dictate what kind of magic you can cast and the intensity level of these creatures and so on and so forth. Full moon, ultimate power. That's why eclipses are so powerful. There's so many cultures that talk about, and I just kind of go on a little bit about.
Basically, with every
yeah,
magic
I'm
of
like-
every culture, it's always around the moon,
Right.
essentially.
So are you guys keeping your hotel rooms?
Gods,
and
no.
staying-
Yes.
Or are you moving to her place?
I
No.
feel like we need to do some kind of weird diversion thing.
I do
like,
too.
Like,
I think
stay at the hotel, but go to your house. Probably stay there, do the whole Florida thing, and then
what
head to London.
What floor were we on?
Why are we always
Second or third?
No, not the third floor.
Sixth floor?
7th floor.
You were on the 12th floor.
Oh Lord.
Okay.
Of the
I was
Palace
going to
Hotel.
say go out the window, but no thank you.
Thank you.
I value my life.
Fire escapes will be fun there. In any event, you go to her place tonight.
Eventually.
Make me a POW roll.
Can I ask this?
44 out of 60.
Okay, so as we talked about with your sort of use of magic, you like handle the teeth, and if you fail the POW roll, you get a lot better connection. If you make the POW roll, like you're sort of, your I think we called it sort of your Eastern brain, Western brain, kind of, and your Western brain is in charge. But you do get a, as you're handling the things, you see one very brief vision, and that is Silas and Kwane looking right at you.
Oh.
He goes on
And
the
then,
list.
Yeah.
and he's looking right at you, and then he holds out his hand, and he blows, and the vision dissolves.
Silas is behind this shit.
You look frustrated.
All right. Bird parrot chicken wings is probably controlled by Silas and Kwane. That's kind of the vision that I had. And he blocked me from it. He knew I was there. He knew I was watching.
Can I see them?
The teeth? Mm-hmm. Toss.
Catch them. I'm going to see if there's anything I can sense from them as I stare at them.
You have never had that sort of experience. She's an actual medium. She connects with this stuff. You hold the teeth, and you have some very painful memories of what those teeth have done to you. But you don't really get any sort of vision or sense or anything like that.
I have the blood, too.
Do you
Just
want
pull out a vial.
do you want to try and do something not similar with the blood?
Yeah, I guess I'll try to sense with the blood as well.
Pour it under your hand or something?
Yeah, you would need to have a connection with the blood.
Right, so I take a little bit, I put a drop on my hand, and
Make a POW roll.
Wait.
Fail it.
Oh, I rolled the same thing.
All right.
You want me to roll for you?
So
Yes, please.
you drop a little blood in your hand, and it just dissolves.
And they can all see
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happen. Well,
Interesting. Do you think it's...
and you were covered in it, but
Yes.
it didn't do that for you.
No. But if Silas is behind this and saw you, he might be using it to block you.
What, like a psychic connection or something?
What happens if the chicken wings goes poof everything else, well, the teeth are still
Wait, I'm gonna
here,
grab
never
your
mind.
hand and then drop a bit of blood on it just to see if it happens again. So I drop blood on Emma's hand. Does it fizzle out?
Nope, it stays there.
Interesting.
Here, I'll just wipe it off. We're good.
I'm
Well,
I knew that was coming.
that's why I wiped
You
it.
really are the ruckus of
So
the
I have a
group.
cult of 50. I
Yeah.
also have a power of 75. Can I extrapolate with those two skills a way to concentrate on the teeth, to kind of like look into them? Like, is there a technique I could like pull up in my head?
I mean, so this is, that's all theoretical to you. Like, you have no idea how she does
it.
what she
Right.
does.
I'm still
you
gonna
know.
try. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna.
I'll
really
give you
try.
protection symbols. That's I think the best magic you can do.
Okay,
I would very
roll
much like to
percent
talk to
to
you
tell me
about
what
that.
you roll.
I got you.
Okay,
you.
for occults. No, 92 for occult, so I just don't get it. And then power.
It's not a fumble. I saw your eye.
Yeah, you were excited for a
Power,
second.
I rolled a 24 under 75, so that's a critical success on power.
So
I don't know what this does.
Nothing.
Nope. Toddler firing off a gun.
Oh no.
Oh, no, excuse me, a hand cannon.
So one of
Can I have the teeth back?
Yeah.
Thanks.
the teeth are warmer than they feel like they're warmer than they should.
Okay. But is it a good warmth, bad warmth?
Oh, that's not a good warmth. That's like a
Is it like searing into my hand type thing?
It's not searing. It's more like if they'd been held in like sweaty hands for like a long time.
Is it? So it's not magical, or is it?
Are her hands sweating?
Tavia, come on, man.
It doesn't seem natural.
The teeth are sweating. That's amazing.
Bells, you look upset.
The teeth are sweating.
The teeth are. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. The
I just throw holy water at her. I'm just like, psst, psst, psst.
Down kidding.
They dissolve.
What?
oh no.
What? That's amazing! I got the power!
That's what I was going to use for the seance.
Oops.
Well, you still
Yeah,
have.
but we can holy water chicken wings out of existence. At least in my head, that's what's happening.
Wait, that's actually a decent point. You never used the holy water on chicken wings.
No, I didn't.
And it
Why are we
dissolved.
rolling
Hold on. So I'm going to take like...
I love how this is turning into a science experiment.
Yeah, in the bar. All right, I
Not the bar.
Oh, we are? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would like a small plate, please.
Jeeves? No. I'm just kidding.
That you probably don't want anymore.
One of the less fine china.
Yeah, don't
little
throw
less
the good
fine.
Throw
stuff.
away after she said
This one has a chip in it.
All right, thank you.
So
Okay.
I go and get a planter. And I get one of those things. I go, here.
Perfect. Put a drop of blood, put the holy water
Okay,
on
so
there.
just
All right, now what happens? Yes.
You guys are doing this on my table?
yes.
Sorry.
It's
You can get a new one.
I go and get some newspaper.
Make me a
Pick it up
power
and put it on.
Fail, 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 fail. Damn it, I made it.
All right.
things
so
you never hear in Call of
the
Cthulhu.
blood and the water start to interact, and for the briefest second, you would swear that they're like swirling, but then they stop.
Like magnetic, like
Yeah.
okay.
Cool.
But then it stops, and then they're just sort of, now it's watered down blue blood.
Do you want some help with that?
So it is patently clear to you that you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Maybe holy water affects it. But we don't have the teeth anymore. Thank you.
You got bits.
We got bits.
You got little crumbles of teeth left.
I wouldn't want to touch those personally. They look like sand.
Well, that's all I got.
Well, that's
I'm gonna
to
be
do
like,
more
I'm gonna put
research.
this on a plate.
well. Here's the thing, though, Bells. We know more than we did before.
It's true. Can we weaponize holy water?
Well, I think technically it is a weaponized.
I mean, are
water
there squirt
sprinkling.
guns like in the 20s?
Yeah.
I'm just like thinking
so
supernatural.
They have for like insect spray and
Yeah,
stuff.
they have
They have
that too.
pump cans.
Well, and also
that.
too, the priest does
Just take like
do
a
that.
bottle
Yeah.
and throw it.
Yeah, they
Glass
got
bottle.
Put their fingers over it, like
No,
two or
I'm
three
talking
fingers.
about the
Holy water
baton.
grenade.
yeah,
Yes.
priests
Yeah.
have holy water sprinklers.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
thingy.
Yeah, with the holes on top, and it's full of holy water, and they do this as you walk out of mass. They sprinkle you.
Can you get me one?
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely.
Things that I don't know because I wasn't raised Catholic.
Do we have to say something when we?
I don't know. Yes.
Be gone,
I'm sorry.
demon.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
The power of Christ
I mean,
compels thee.
according to your dogma, yes.
Yes,
You know,
technically
there are
yes.
prayers
For a second,
to be said.
for a second I was being me, and so shit, I don't remember.
All right, so I think that's going to end this session. You've connected some dots. You've unconnected some dots. You have
Next time for sure. I also wanted to ransack her library.
okay.
Yeah, I
Just
would
to
like
see
to
if
do
there
more
was-
research on this stuff too.
Okay. And that you have tickets for a gala. The gala is it's going to be Saturday night, so it's going to be tomorrow night.
But we also have to visit Jonah.
Yeah.
Jonah's in the morning.
In the
isn't it?
morning,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Again, Jonah, summon demon, ball.
We're gonna
Got
have,
it.
We're gonna have lots of espresso tomorrow. I wish.
I can't imagine.
I'm glad you got that reference.
Absolutely. You make good references.
I can't imagine that any of those things will go wrong.
We referenced Into the Woods last
Sounds
night,
like a
too.
great day.
I've had it on the
Excited for
brain.
demon summoning.
I'm excited for demon summoning.
Yeah, right?
That might be the title.
What do we do? Not summon a demon.
Yeah, right.
Excited for demon summoning. So my my votes for quote of the session are keep killing it. Just be as semi-honest as possible.
Emma.
Those parents aren't those parrots. I always say parents. Those parrots aren't working alone. And I don't want to go to Florida.
That's a life choice. That's not the name of it. That's not a title. That's
I
just a
have
lifestyle
friends who
choice.
lived in Florida, and I don't understand.
And you know, Mr. Kentucky. You mean Colonel Sanders?
I vote for that one.
I love that.
So let us know what
too.
you think was quote of the episode. And we will be back next week when apparently we'll be summoning demons.
Apparently. Also,
What could possibly go right?
Nothing.
I'll bring props.
nothing.
Now I've got a date to the ball.
We have 4 to go into the boy.
4 to go in
Wow.
and 3 that stay over. Very nice.
Four that stay over.
Nice.
4 that go into the boy.
Ching.
I didn't ruin
4 go
everything
in
this
here.
time.
So 4 into the boy, and then 4 carry over to next week.
We'll
Sweet.
start with
Gotta write
4.
that down.
Yes, please.
So wait, we put 4 in. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
But anything over 4.
Anything
we
over
put
4 has to get put in.
Next week the start of our guest or
I think so. Yeah.
all right. So next week we might have a guest player. Emma might decide that demon summoning is not something that she is.
Oh man.
Darn that
I
real
haven't
life stuff.
Yeah, I haven't decided. Fine. Okay.
Darn real life.
But
Yeah.
even if Emma's not here, we hope you will be, and we will see you next week. Thanks for playing, guys.
Cheers.
you.
See you all next week.